All right. Hi, everybody. It's Mike Filsame. Let me just share my screen just for 1 second here, just so that you know that we're live. And I'm going to go on mute for just a minute. I should put something that says we're getting started soon. I just need like another quick little minute, if you don't mind. So bear with me just 1 second. I think we're just going to load this, and we'll just load the Scale Plus dashboard and get rid of everything else for now. All right. I'm going to mute my microphone. We're going to get started in just a minute. Just bear with me. I'll just keep my microphone on just in the meantime so that you know that I'm here. I'm just working on something on the back end here. All right, in progress. Let's click on that. Emails. All right, bear with me just a second. I'm still here, guys. I'm just working on something. Registration. There we go. That's the one I'm looking for. And select all. And there we go. All right. All right, everybody. I do apologize. So just so you know, you won't be seeing my face today. I'm a bit under the weather. And I just got off a 2-hour webinar with the folks over at T. Harv Eker's company. So last night we had our Speakeasy event that we're doing. And do me a favor, if you can hear me, I'm going to get my energy up for all of you. If you can hear me loud and clear, in the put a 1 in the questions, the chat, you know what we call the chat. I'm going to open up that thing right there. Put a 1 and the town that you're from. Great to see you, fellow Groupsters. And we're going to have a pretty exciting webinar, something a little bit different here today. And there's Matt Seralta with the only one. So again, folks, maybe we have something shut off. There it is. Okay, Kyle Conant puts a 1. There's 61 of you in here, and only so far Kyle has put it in there. Give a little bit of love, like Manj Singh did. Put a 1 in the chat, and do me a favor, put a 1, and then let me know where you're from. Let's get some exciting energy up here in this chat. Yes, I just got off a 2-hour webinar for click campaigns. Actually, that's not what we're going to be talking about today. Thank you, Reynolds Lee from Northport, Massachusetts, and literally just hung up that phone, took a sip of water, and then got the link to get this thing started. So what happened was last night we have the 4th Wednesday, or the last Wednesday of every month, we did our Speakeasy Mastermind that we do here in South Florida. And I get to bed and I'm like, all right, well, I got the webinar with the Groove Scale people tomorrow at 1 p.m. And, just look at your calendar just to make sure there's not something you're missing. And then, it's like, oh my goodness, I got another webinar with T. Harv Eker at 11 o'clock. I was like, oh my goodness, thank God I didn't double book these things. But I ended up having to do a webinar this morning, just got off. And as you know, there is a bug and a flu going around. I'm on the tail end of it. Yesterday, I finally started feeling better. So I do have a little bit of a cough and some nasal congestion. So we're gonna push through it. I'm gonna try to be as pleasant and radio voice as I can for all of you. And we're going to be talking about something today that is brand new. And I spoke about it at the tail end of the Scale.gg quarterly update. And that is something we're going to have a lot of fun with today. Now that the more people are coming in here, we have Ted Greller from Tampa. We have Ivo Dimitrov. Didn't say where he's from. I'm curious. We have Ryan Lutz, or Ryan, maybe, probably Ryan, but it's Riaan. I don't know why I said Ryan. John Thomas. We have Sarina Zaldua from the Philippines, and Kyle puts in Akron, Ohio. Sophia lets us know that they're here. We have from near London in the UK is Manj Singh. Where is the chat? You found it, Tori. It's the questions. We say chat, but it's the questions area that you see there. Um, and another webinar in Kennedy in 3 hours. Who's that? I hope that's not me. I hope that's you. All right, and then we got, this will be the last one. We've got Jeff from Australia. A few more just came in. I'll get them out. We're going to get started. Nikki Gianni from Oxnard, California. I know that very, very well on my way up the Pacific Coast Highway. Nice little town up there as well. Freddie from Switzerland. Ivo finally tells us they're from Sofia, Bulgaria. Atlanta, Georgia is John Thomas. Warsaw, Poland, Romold Kaliki. Colorado is Deborah Bentley. You guys are really blowing up the chat here. I appreciate it. Dan Simon, Got Influence, Intergalactic H2. That's his branding. Antoine from Houston. Every time we're at the end, you guys keep popping more. Troy from Vancouver. Nobi. Good day, Mike from Melbourne, Australia. Nikki, woohoo! All right. Northampton, UK. I don't want to leave anybody out, but you have to stop. I should, if we're going to stop it soon. Tony Fasulo. Northampton, UK, Joe from Indiana, Stephen Dewar from Denver, and the last one I'm going to read, John from Ontario, Canada. Anybody else, they're still coming in, but we got to get started. I appreciate the energy. Let me tell you what happened on the last webinar. We had more people than we have here. And I said, if you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat and let me know where you're from. 2 people did it. And then I asked again and nobody else did it. I got to tell you, folks, that's why I said to you here when a few of you did, I said, give me some love. Let's get the energy. And nearly almost every single one of you put it in there. I can't thank you enough. I can't tell you, if you know, doing a webinar, when you start a webinar and you ask people to engage and nobody engages, you literally get the bead of sweat on your forehead and you start going, you have a second conversation with yourself. Like, what am I doing? I have to reconsider my life choices. I should have never become a digital marketer. I should have stayed in the car business. Just joking, right? But these things literally get in your head. All right. So I don't have any slides for you today, but I do have a little presentation that we're going to be doing. And this is, and I invite you all to stay on because you're going to learn something. I do want to let you know, straight up front, we are going to be talking about my agentic marketing mastermind. I'm going to show you a picture real quick. Let me just find my text messages here. Let me pull this up. And I believe I'm sharing my screen, so just give me just a minute to pull up this photo. I'm going to show you what my life has been like for the last 60 days, 60 to 90 days. Okay, let's click quick look. I got the spinning beach ball thing going on right now as I'm trying to open an image, so just bear with me. It's like my whole little thing over here crashed. Okay, let's try that one more time. Quick look. All right, there we go. And I'm going to click open with preview so it'll stay persistent. There we go. All right, so this is something that Eric Berman, he runs Brian Tracy's digital marketing company. He also runs Branditize and he runs Celebritize. And he said to me, Mike, you have to do this, right? Like, this is something that you have to do because they've spoken with different people that, and I'm not talking about like an AI mastermind. That's why this is called the Agentic Marketing Mastermind. And you notice it doesn't have the word AI in it. It supersedes AI. And this is the final day. And all due respect to, you know, all of my fellow marketers out there in the world. Like, back here's the legendary Mike Hill, right? So at this is Flight Club, 2-day event that I fly to 3 times a year. It's a $40,000 a year mastermind, changed my life in so many ways. If I told you the people that are in this room, it would blow you away. At least 20 of them are already in my agentic marketing mastermind. I've consulted for 10 of these people. And let me tell you, I've stopped doing things for free. If people want to get a day with me to come to the studio, and this is true, I'm doing one with Glenn Ledwell in Flight Club. It cost $25,000 to come in my studio with 4 people over 2 days. That means we get a morning on your business or an afternoon, and then you get to learn as me and Glenn work on 3 other people's businesses. And people pay $25,000 to get that with me. Now, if they want to get an entire weekend with me alone, like I'm doing on Monday, I'm not going to say the name of the person. We'll just call him Mark. Mark is coming from Canada, and he's bringing his entire team down to spend the day with me on Monday, and they pay us $50,000 to get a day with us, or $100,000 for 2 days, that's like the consulting. And my friend Eric Berman said, Mike, you truly need to create like an agentic marketing mastermind. He says, Mike, the stuff that you share and that you shared with my team, there's nobody out there that knows this stuff. And I'm going to play one of these videos for you right now. And let me just pull that up, actually, from Eric Berman. And he just introduced me to the CEO of WAP, or somebody on the WAP team. I'm very good friends with the people at Fanbasis. Okay, so let me play this for you here. And this is what what people send after we they pay us for the consulting with their team.
Hi,
Sorry
this
about
is
that.
Eric Berman, founder and CEO of Branditize and Speakeasy Mastermind. And I had the pleasure to consult with Mike Filsame for his Agentic Marketing Mastermind. And oh my God, I am so glad we did. I had talked to him before I brought him into my team, telling him what the issues that we were facing were. He said he had it. I brought him into the team. He consulted, and immediately it shifted the entire corporation. And I'm already feeling incredible effects 2-3 weeks later, where everybody in my team now is taking some of the things that he's taught, and everybody's leveled up. Like, I was literally worried about what was going to happen over the next probably 3 to 6 months of our business if we didn't make a change fast. And as CEO, sometimes not everybody wants to listen to me. I got to bring in an outsider. So I made the call. It's kind of like phone a friend. I called Mike. He came in, he delivered, and he showed us some stuff that's like God mode for the things we're doing with our agency. And oh my God, the stuff that my team is now delivering that normally would take like 3 months, we're doing in like 2-3 days. Life changer. And my team is so inspired right now, and we're now crushing. So thanks, Mike Filsame. And if you're ever looking to consult with somebody, Mike, it's the first call you should make.
All right. So I have, from the folks that I've actually spent time with their team, because the word got out and everybody's like, hey, you need to talk to Mike, and they're booking me like crazy. We just did a 3-hour one the other day. We worked with the company Wing Women. She's a popular YouTuber, over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And the reason why I'm showing you this image here is that this is like basically what I call, I'm going to show my age here. There used to be a commercial, when E.F. Hutton talks, people listen, right? And 6 times in a row, I won the Best Speaker of Award at Flight Club. I've spoken 7 times. I've won it 6 out of the 7 times. And I've won the Best Speaker Award more times than any other person that's ever presented at Flight Club. And I present on average once every 2 years. And what they do, this is at the end of day 2, they have what they call rock star tables, and they put them in each corner. So this is the far back corner over here. This is the other corner over here. And here's the other corner over here. And they have the other speakers talk, and they say, hey, if you want to get with this person, they're gonna make themselves available for you for an hour. And then you see me here on my laptop. And I love this picture. I saw a picture like this from John Reese when he did Traffic Secrets. And what I like is the eye line of every single person, the way the attention is working here. You can see the attention that we have, everybody here silent and watching what we're doing. And then literally everybody here wants to pay me to help change them in their business, because what I did is I showed them something that's evangelical. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something um, a little different here today, because we're going to get everything, all the painful stuff out of the way. And then I invite you to stay on. And I'm going to say the same thing I said last time. This is not for 90 to 95% of you. It's just not. I'm going to give you an opportunity to buy it, but I'm going to do all of the who this is for and who this is not for type of stuff. And I'm also going to let you know the price that we're selling this for. We're selling it for $10,000 a year. That is what you will pay when you deal with our salespeople. We are doing, everybody that buys click campaigns or scale will be getting a call from us, or be invited to watch a video to see if they're interested in this. And the price that I'm doing for my existing customers, I told Bargov and Jonathan, who run my sales team, I said, guys, I'm going out to my own customers and I'm going to give them a discount on the mastermind at $5K a year. And they said, I really don't think you should do that. I don't think you should devalue it. There are other people that are going to pay 10K. And I said, well, I always do something special for my members. In fact, I can't sell anything for my members without them saying, what if I'm a lifetime member? It's like it shows up in my sleep. When I wake up in the morning, I go, where are the lifetime members, right? Like I have to make sure that we always have something for the lifetime members. So I want to put that out there right now. There's going to be a price point to get the full year for 2 payments of $2,750 or 1 payment of $5,000 or a book a call with us. And I do want to let you know here, I'm not teasing you here. We are spending money on this campaign here. This is, you can even see it's called Facebook Apply. I want to show you something here. When you click on how much revenue does your business currently do, and if you put 20, and how soon are you looking to install an AI employee into your business right away? Let's just do this, and hopefully he changed this because I'm arguing with him on this. But let me see what happens here. Oh my God, Matt, are you watching? I actually didn't go through that. Do you see how rude that is?
Yeah, I'm very surprised. I'm even surprised. Like click campaign, maybe a good option. A good alternative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like this should say, congratulations, go check out Click Campaigns. Look what it says here. You're not a good fit with us at this time. This is pathetic, and I have to talk to them about
Marketing
that.
101.
Yeah, all right. But folks, the reason why I say that is uh, we are spending money, and if somebody's making 19,500 a month, we're saying it's not the right fit for us. Now, uh, let's see, Mike, as 17 minutes in, you have begun sharing. Not sure. You haven't begun sharing. I'm not sure what that means yet, Bill. I'm actually doing it in reverse. I'm weeding people out, basically saying that that we're starting a mastermind. Here's the price. So here's what happens, Bill. How
I do see your
Matt?
screen, Mike. So you know.
Yeah, Matt, if you can mute your microphone, we're hearing your microphone scrape. Um, Bill, you know what happens sometimes is, I jump right in and I start telling people about something, and they're like, "Can you just get to the price?" So, sometimes you can't win. But basically, what I'm doing, Bill, is I'm spending the first 20 minutes to let people exit the call. Now you're invited to stay on. Obviously, we would love for you to stay on this webinar. You're going to learn a lot. It's who's going to be able to work with us. Now, we did have a situation when I told people the other day, who was this for? And I think her name was Catherine. And she said, Mike, that's not fair. You don't know our financial situation. Just because my business isn't doing $20,000 a month doesn't mean, if I'm doing 15,000 or 5,000, I can't get anything out of this. Or I might be doing that in a year. Maybe I just sold my business, or maybe my spouse is a doctor or a lawyer making $500,000 a year. It's not for you to say who can come in the mastermind or not. And I agree with that to a certain extent. What we're doing is we're creating this mastermind of peers that have like-minded businesses, and we certainly want you to fit in that business. Your intelligence is really the only thing that plus your pocketbook. But we want you to be able to have a business that can take advantage of the things that we're going to be showing you. So we'll get started. As I said to you in the emails that invited you here, this isn't a software demo, and there's not going to be slides. I'm going to be peeling back the curtain on what we've been doing in our business over the last year that has completely changed the game for us. You've heard of some of this technology, maybe watching some of it on YouTube. We're going to show you how we actually apply it in our business. And just so that you know everything up front. So if you want to say, hey, I know what they're selling and I know what the price is, and you want to pop out, that's okay as well. And then we're gonna start the real behind the scenes stuff of our business. And so what the mastermind is going to be, we're going to be meeting every Friday. You don't have to attend because everything will be on demand. We're going to be starting a school-like community on courses.gg. It's going to be starting, the mastermind is going to be starting around April 15th in about 2 weeks. And we're going to meet every Friday for about 3 hours. I will be doing 2 to 3 of those trainings per month. Some of them may even go 6 hours because we may be doing 2 sessions for the day. We may do me for 2 to 3 hours, another person will come in for 2 hours, and another person will come in for 2 hours. What we're doing is we're going to be creating the latest content for you on how you're working behind the scenes in your business with these new tools, okay? And all of that stuff will be inside of the community to watch on demand. The other thing I'm letting you know is that anybody that buys this mastermind, they are not, hey, Bill, I get it. The promise, you're saying the content was promised to be scheduled at 2 p.m. Actually, it was 1 p.m. But Bill, let me just tell you, I don't think this is for you. You can bounce out of the webinar. This isn't about content. Everything in the webinar that in the email that I said is this is not going to be a software demo. And so just relax, Bill. You don't have to beat me up if you don't like the style of my presentation. I'm simply letting people know that we're starting a mastermind, and I'm letting you know what's in the mastermind and what the price is. And then if you want to stick around and certainly go behind the scenes of my business, we can do that, all right? But please just relax. Have a little bit of patience, Bill. That's all I ask from you. Okay, so we will be meeting every Friday. We are going to be putting an intense amount of work into this. You will be meeting with me, with Matt, with another person that runs our agency, our automation agency. His name is George. And you'll also be learning from some other experts in the field that know this stuff pretty much as good as I do. But mainly it's going to be our team showing you what we're doing in our business. And this industry changes literally by the day. Last 2 weeks ago, everybody would have been talking about OpenClaw, but literally it changes every single day. And we'll be talking about some of those things in just a moment. And then on top of that, we will be meeting in person in my studio. We have a brand new studio in Boca Raton. You'll be meeting with us 3 times a year, and you can bring up to 2 people with you. You can come up with 3 people. We have a much larger studio that for workshops that we're opening specifically for this mastermind that can hold up to 200 people. The way the workshops will be, it'll probably be more like 125 people because we're going to have more chairs and round tables there. And here's the thing: when you get access to the mastermind, it's not for you; it's for you and your partner and your entire company and every employee that you have in your company. So we're going to be doing sessions that go beyond just marketing. We're going to be talking operations, accounting, software development. It's a whole agentic marketing and agentic engineering mastermind for you and your company. The people that do get involved in this, as you saw from Eric Berman, and I'll spare you, the other 20 different testimonials, case studies that people are just sending to us unsolicited. This is a game changer for your business, and what we do is we call it God mode, and we're going to get into that right now. Okay, and Nikki, the mastermind lasts for 1 year, so it's $10,000 a year. Members of my customers will get access to it for $5,000 a year, and we already have about 20 members in the mastermind already right now. And so let's get started. I'm going to first play a presentation for you that kind of explains everything that that we are in now, what I call the orchestration era. Okay, so I'm going to play this little video here for you. We'll click right here, and we'll play this.
Okay, so let's talk about what's happening in marketing right now because it's a huge shift. We're entering what's being called the orchestration era, and it's all fueled by AI. This isn't just about changing the game, it's like we're playing a completely new one. Let's break down what this actually means for you.
So this brings us to the big question, right? For every single marketer out there, as AI starts to take over more and more of the day-to-day work, what's going to separate the teams that really thrive from the ones that just get replaced? It's not about working harder, that's for sure. It's about working in a fundamentally different way.
I mean, just look at this. This is the difference we're talking about. Marketing campaigns that once took weeks, sometimes even months of painful back and forth, are now launching in a matter of hours. This isn't just a small improvement. AI is literally shattering the old timeline. And that brings us to our first section, a new marketing reality. We're going to dig into just how fast this whole AI evolution is happening, and more importantly, what it means for the work you do every single day. The speed of this change is it's staggering. Seriously, if you're still using AI the same way you did just 6 months ago, you're already falling behind. The daily grind of MarTech, all the building, the tweaking, deploying campaigns, that's all getting automated away. The human role is shifting away from the how and moving squarely into the what. All right, so next up, let's talk about the old, broken workflow. Because to really get how big of a deal this is, we have to remember what it's replacing. And it's a slow, frustrating process that's probably way too familiar to a lot of us. Yeah, the old marketing life cycle. You probably know this all too well, right? It's this slow-moving caterpillar of handoffs. Concept goes to design, design goes to copy, copy goes to dev. Each step was a new chance for something to get lost in translation, for delays to pile up. It wasn't just slow, it
I'm going to
killed
speed this up.
creativity. So that entire structure, that whole assembly line, it's just gone. AI hasn't just tweaked it or made it a little better, it has completely collapsed the entire middle of that workflow. The handoffs, the waiting, the silos, they're all becoming a thing of the past. So, if that old way is gone, what's taking its place? Well, that brings us to our next section. Enter the AI orchestrator. This is a totally new kind of project manager, one that's conducting a whole symphony of AI agents. Okay, so what is an AI orchestrator? Think of it like this. It's basically an AI that acts as your marketing ops manager. You, the human, give it a high-level goal, and then, just like a conductor with an orchestra, it delegates all the specific tasks to a team of specialized AI agents to get it done. And who's on this AI ops team? Well, you've got agents that specialize in user experience, others that focus only on writing persuasive copy, agents that handle all your analytics and tracking. You even have ones for security and compliance. Each one is a total expert in its own little world. And this is where the magic happens. Because the orchestrator gives tasks to all these specialists at the same time. They work in parallel, not in a straight line. The design, the copy, the analytics, it's all happening at once. And that's how you compress weeks of work into a single working session. It's a game changer. Okay, so if the AI is doing all the heavy lifting and the execution, that leads to the most critical question of all. What's left for us? What's the human's role in all of this? That's what we're covering in the new marketer's playbook. Basically, our job is moving to the very beginning and the very end of the process. We're now in charge of the front end, defining the strategy, the offer, the audience, and we own the back end, reviewing what the AI created to make sure it actually hits our strategic goals. So what does that mean for you? It means that your ability to be crystal clear, to precisely explain your intent to the AI, that is everything. Vague instructions are going to get you mediocre results. The teams that are going to win are the ones who can perfectly describe the outcome they want, and then just get out of the way and let the agents deliver. I mean, this shift is fundamental. We're moving from being the doer, where our value came from knowing how to use specific tools, to becoming the director, where our value comes from strategic clarity. It's not about how well you can use the tools anymore. It's about how well you can direct the AI. And what this does is it creates this new kind of full stack marketer. You don't have to be a world-class expert in 5 different software platforms anymore. The AI agents fill in those knowledge gaps for you. This lets you focus purely on the what and the why, and you can test and iterate at a speed that was just impossible before. Which brings us to our final and maybe most important section. Your strategy is everything. Because as this trend just keeps accelerating, the quality of your strategy, your ideas, and your insights, that becomes the only thing that truly sets you apart. And hey, this isn't some far off future stuff. Look at how quickly this is moving. We started with single AI agents that could do one thing. Right now, we're in the era of these multi-agent systems, the orchestrators. And just around the corner in 2026, we're looking at long-running autonomous agents. So what are these long-running agents? Well, imagine giving an AI a high-level goal, like increase conversions for this product, and then just letting it run for days. It won't just build a campaign. It'll launch it, monitor the data, analyze it, and then optimize it all on its own with very little input from you. The possibilities here are just wow.
Think about it. Entrepreneurs could launch entire marketing systems in days without a huge team. Companies can finally start clearing out years of technical debt and under-optimized pages. Really complex campaigns that were just too expensive or time-consuming before are now totally viable for pretty much everyone. But, and this is so important, all this automation doesn't make you obsolete. It actually makes your human experience more valuable, not less. The AI can execute tactics, yeah, but it can't feel. Your intuition, your deep understanding of human psychology, your taste, that's the strategic lens the AI just can't replicate.
So ultimately, it all boils down to this one idea. The future of marketing isn't about mastering a bunch of individual tools anymore. It's about mastering orchestration. It's about being the one who guides these incredibly powerful systems to achieve a strategic vision.
So, I'll leave you with this one question to think about. As this orchestration era really takes hold, are you learning how to conduct the symphony, or are you going to be content to just sit in the audience and watch? Because honestly, that choice is going to define your entire future.
Okay, so by the way, that is a workflow. What you just saw is a presentation of me being able to express my thoughts and then get those thoughts out and then put into Notebook LM, and it creates the presentation for me. And it's more concise than, as you can see, me saying and not staying on the point and getting off too many exits, right? So I'll be showing you some of these workflows as well today. So what is going on currently? I'm going to show you, and by the way, folks, I've never been more excited about something. That's why I'm sharing it with all the businesses and friends that I know in these masterminds. I'm going to show you something here. I don't know, honestly, if I'm going to show you anything that is confidential, because if I do, I'll collapse it really quick, because what I'm showing you is how we're using first OpenClaw, and now we're using something called Claude Cowork. I'm going to open this up right here. This is the Claude desktop app. They have a couple of different modes: the old school chat, talk to the web, right? Then they've added Claude Code. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Revolutionized our business. And then about 6 weeks ago, they came out with Claude Cowork, which is just absolutely game-changing for us. This stuff is so complex and requires a lot of training and looking over my shoulder and setting up systems. 2 years ago, and by the way, there was somebody that asked me, let me open up the chat here, said, curious, Joseph McFarland, you said, curious about what workflow app, folks. Is that effectively dead now? Do me a favor. I'm going to give you my number. I'll type it right here, 516-315-5835. Just shoot me a text, Joseph. I'll explain that to you, what's going on there. Workflow app was basically like training on updates on the latest AI. It's more about updates and using N8N and FlowEyes. All those things have just died. Now we're at the point where we're just the orchestrators. We tell these things what we want, and it just builds these systems for us. And let me see, Bill here just got back. Hopefully Bill and I are back to being best friends again. Bill said, Mike, all caps, please don't take offense. I don't, Bill. I'm having trouble relaxing because I shared above my wife. I don't want to say anything more. You're giving me some personal information. God bless you, Bill. My heart goes out to your wife. I'll say a prayer for her as a Christian to make sure she's not in any pain later. All right, all the love to you and your family, Bill. No offense taken. Love you very much. All right. So,
hey, Mike, I'm helping answer a lot of questions on the chat. And if you want to, I can make a note for you of what we might need help with.
Okay, great. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. That one I wanted to read out loud because I figured there might be some other people that wanted to hear it, but I appreciate it. I'll stay focused on the presentation and let you focus on the chat. All right. So there's Claude Code and Claude Cowork. And before that, there was what I'm showing you here with Notion. I set this up with something called OpenClaw. Now, if you haven't heard about OpenClaw, let me tell you what it is and why it's a big deal. OpenClaw was the fastest. Let's pull it up on the web right here. And somebody asked, do you have to be technical? I'm going to tell you straight up, you do need the qualities of the left brain, right? If we go left brain versus right brain, and we see this image right here, it says the left brain is logical, analytical, linear, verbal, factual, and sequential. The right brain is creative, intuitive, artistic, nonverbal, emotional, and imaginative. And there's no right or wrong there, right? We see people go, I'm a right brain person, I'm a left brain person. I happen to be both. My background in computer science created a lot of left brain and a lot of right brain, came from working at years in the car business, learning persuasion and different things like that. Um, I will tell you this, to be an entrepreneur these days, you really want to start merging left brain and right brain. And what we call that in our industry, you've heard of marketing and technology, right? We call that MarTech, right? It is actually like a term for it. MarTech refers to you being taking the skills of marketing and merging it with technology. And so to answer that question, do you need to be technical? Absolutely. It is a skill that will be required for somebody on your team. Remember, if you're in the mastermind, that means you and your entire team or company can get on. So if you have a partner that's technical, it's great for them. We have a friend of mine, her name is Whitney, and she's in the Speakeasy Mastermind. I told her, I said, Whitney, I don't think this is for you. And I said, I don't think you need to be learning a Claude code and these different things. So let me tell you who the right brain person is. If you're the right brain person, you say things like this. Oh my goodness, do I love social media? I love to be on stage. I love to be on camera. If you give me an opportunity, I am the center of the room. I'm really good at connecting with people. People call me a connector. I can usually make friends with somebody very, very quickly. I love to be on social media. I love to train. I love to educate. And I love to do webinars. You put me in front of a camera and I just shine. And you say, great. Let me ask you a question. If I asked you to get an API key, oh, no. That is not me. You need to talk to my brother or my husband or my spouse. I do not know when it comes to the technical, that is not me. I like to get on camera. That's the right brain person. And that person would not do well in the mastermind. And I probably just, about 40–50% of you just said, yeah, that's me. And look, you can get on, you can watch these things, you could learn. I do believe it's going to be a skill that you're going to need in the future. We are moving to an agentic engineer. That's why I'm calling it the agentic engineering, not the agentic programming, the agentic engineering. Being able to come into a system like this and understand that now you could click on customize and you could learn about just one click connecting all of these different integrations with all of these different tools out there. If your brain is not breaking on that, you're saying, I can comprehend that because Claude is making it very easy for the left brain and the right brain people to meet, right? OpenClaw was extremely difficult, even for somebody like me. We're going to be going over skills and what creating skills are. They're basically recipes or standard operating procedures for the way that when you tell it to go scrape somebody's YouTube channel, how to get the data for you, how to create things that will create videos and presentations and PowerPoints and slides and video sales letters for you, how to take all of the power that you have with click campaigns and take it to the next level, okay? But more importantly, there's a lot more that we're going to be going over. But then you have over here, this marketplace of all of these ideas that are being published, which is really good. This thing called schedules, we're going to talk about these tasks. So I'm going to tell you basically what I'm doing with OpenClaw, and I'll show you right here. OpenClaw goes in and manages my calendar for me automatically. And so I have a quick little dashboard. Alex is, he's Alex from Click Campaigns. I like that name, Alex, as being my agent. Anytime we say Alex, and by the way, Alex talks to Matt, and he talks to John Garcia. He has access to his own inbox and my inboxes, and he triages all of my email. I have not been in my email inbox for the last 6 weeks since I installed OpenClaw. And now you can do it even easier with Claude Cowork. I'm going to be showing you that. So he goes in and he checks all of my systems so I can see what's online. I can see right here, my Telegram went offline. So LinkedIn, I might need to log back in. So this tells me what's breaking in the current system. My weekly briefing, I can go in every single day and I can see the email triage that was done, what inboxes were scanned. I'm already seeing some personal stuff here that I prefer not being shown. And then even more importantly, I have this thing that says needs your input. So I'm going to just open this on the side here because this is a summary of my inbox, and I just want to see what it says. Okay, I'll let this one play out here. So every day I come in and I click on needs your input. And so I got a LinkedIn DM from a guy here named Dan Seidman, Click Campaigns follow-up. Dan sent a direct message, Mike, can someone please respond? I've already presented a click campaign, whatever the case may be. And then what I simply do is I simply just click my apply right here. Let me see, this is, don't, let me just see, that was from my attorney. So let's just see what that is there. Potential arbitration, so we don't want that to show, so I'm going to move that over. Let's see this one here, Google Workspace suspicious activity. Let's see. Okay, let's look at this one right here. So this one says, right here, this guy, Dan Seidman, it gives me a summary, concise summary. Dan has been trying for several weeks to get real implementation help for click campaigns. He's pitching 2 clients, right? So I don't have to go in. I can just literally here's instructions from me. Mike should decide what to do. And I just literally reply right here. And so let me explain to you how much time that this has saved me. I simply gave an instruction to my agent after I connected. And I said, I want to connect you with my mikefulsame@gmail.com inbox, the marketing@Groove Digital inbox, the Mike@Groove Digital inbox, and I believe I have another inbox if we click here as well. Manage your Google account. Let me see here. Let's go here. Yeah, I know I have 5 inboxes. So there's Mike@Groove Digital. Oh, and my one when I left the company, I started Mike@Monarch Labs, and I do actually have some people that email me there. And so what I do is I tell the agent, go into my inbox every 3 hours, and I want you to perform a triage. And when it does that triage, what it does is if there's anything that requires billing, it forwards it to my wife. If it's anything for the billing for the company, it forwards it to the accounting team. Excuse me. If it's anything that is a support related issue, it forwards it to John Garcia. If it's anything that is a support issue that it thinks I should know, as you could see, some urgent things, it brings it to my attention. If I have doctor's appointments, it puts it onto my calendar. All of these things go through my inbox because I don't know if you're like me, but I don't think there's a single person in the world that has one email inbox. Not one of us, right? We have that, our personal Gmail, our old Yahoo, all these different things. And we are excited about spending time with our family, knocking things off our to-do list, eat the frog, right? You know, we want to do the things that matter. And I learned 20 years ago at a conference from Rick Raditz at a big seminar in 2006. And he says, your inbox is a very organized list of other people's agendas. So think about that. You have a very organized list of other people's agendas. So you finally get done with work. Your spouse says, hey, do you want to eat? And you say, yeah, we'll eat. And then you get back to your computer and it's 6:30 at night and you open up your email inbox and you have 134 emails and that's in one inbox. Put a 1 in the chat if you instantly understand the stress environment that I'm talking about when you see your inbox, right? And then what do we do in our inbox? It's like archive, email from Mike, video sales letter, let that play in the background, my Amazon product shipped, and all this different type of stuff. It is the worst thing. And guess what happens? Dan says, that's me, brother, right? And like, you don't even want to do email. If you're like me, I literally tell people, dude, if you send me an email, I'm not going to read it. Really? Yeah, no, you have to send me a text. I'll always respond. And if you send me an email, send me a text that you sent me that email. And everybody's putting the 1 in the chat. Antoine Douglas, Ryan, Ricardo Sendra, Ming with 1,000 ones in the chat. You just described me, Peggy says, right? We hate our email inbox. It literally takes us from a good mood to a bad mood. And what happens if you don't do it today? You go the next day. And then you go on the marketer's cruise. Put a 10 in the chat if you've ever done this. Declared email bankruptcy. It got so bad after 17 days, you're like, screw it. I'm archiving everything. I'm going to archive everything because if it's that important, they'll text me again, right? So I cannot tell you in the last 6 weeks how many things that I've been missing. I have this agent automatically log in to my LinkedIn, my Twitter, my X, which I never did, my Facebook Messenger, and my Instagram Messenger. And it replies to 80% of the people and say, hey, I'm Alex, Mike's AI digital assistant. What you're looking for can actually be found here. Our JV program is here. But if it's something that like, hey, like Carlos Garcia, a good friend of mine, his ex-wife, reached out to me in Facebook Messenger. I just don't check these things. And we finally reconnected. We're putting together a business deal that's going to be very, very good. I'm finding opportunities, people that may want to invest in our company. And what we call this, what I'm showing you right here, just one out of the 10 things I'm going to show you today, is called getting the signal without the noise. Another metaphor I could give you is if I told you that there was a river, and in that river was, if you want to go pan through the river and go through the rocks and the water and the salt with this pan, every day or two, you might find a grain of gold. But if you do this every day for the next 30 days, you might find $13,000 worth of gold. Well, all of us know that. That's called panning for gold. Do any of us do that? No. We don't want to be working with a pan, shoveling sand through everything. And so what I'm telling you is there is gold in your business, and we don't do it because it's difficult. So what Alex does for me is not only that, and I do hate to tell you this, and I'm just going to be upfront with you. We let go of some of our staff, and we took some of our staff and put them somewhere else in the company. Like Samantha used to do my inbox, and she said to me, Mike, what happened? Matt told me I'm no longer. I said, yeah, don't take any offense. I have somebody that can do it better. And she got offended, and then I showed her, and she laughed, and she said, oh my God, that's amazing. And I showed her what it did, and it basically did her job. And on top of that, what Alex does is he spawns a sub agent that opens a browser every 3 hours and goes into all 5 of our Facebook groups and looks for members that are looking to get approved and approves them based on their profile. And then they scan all of the messages that people are looking to post in the Facebook group to make sure they follow our guidelines. And if they don't, they DM the member that their message is not approved. Maybe some of you might have gotten that. And if it's a nasty message, the member gets a warning. And if it's a really nasty member, the member gets banned. And they also police our Facebook group, and they look for the last 10 threads. And if there's any responses that just came in that are nasty, they delete them and send the member that they're violating the rules. And if it's a flame, they ban the members. These are all just these rules with natural language. I basically just said like we just go back here to, it would be something like this. I clicked on schedule a task, and I would say, hey, this is what I want you to do. I just want you to do this. And it just does that. So I've never been more productive now. And by the way, it's also going through my WhatsApp messages, and it compiles everything into one place that says needs Mike's attention, and I just respond there. And that's just one of the game changers. Let me show you, we were talking before about OpenClaw, and I don't recommend you do it. I told somebody at the Speakeasy Mastermind last month, I said, I'm a technical guy, and it was difficult for me to install. In fact, we were going to be installing it for you guys because it's really complex for like a $2,500 thing. I said, hey, don't even do it, because pretty soon people are going to be doing one-click installations for it. And now you can with Hostinger, and this company Abacus.ai just literally came up with Abacus Claw, install OpenClaw for you for $10 monthly, right? So I knew that this was coming, and I don't recommend this. It's extremely, extremely complicated, and I'm moving to the new Claude Cowork desktop, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you workflows today. But what is OpenClaw? If we type in OpenClaw GitHub, you will see that this thing has 337,000 stars on GitHub. And let's ask this question to ChatGPT. When did OpenClaw first go live open source repo on GitHub? So in December of 2025 was the first commit. So we're talking about something that if it was January 1st would have been 10 weeks ago, call it 3 months ago, right? So it went live 3 months ago. And just so you know, there is no project in all of GitHub, in all of the open source, including things like React and TypeScript and all these things that has more stars than this. This is a big deal. It was on 60 Minutes. It was on every news channel. And it was the fastest growing open source project in history. And it's now the #1 open source project in history in terms of stars. But you have to install it, and it's complex. But once you do, it is extremely powerful. And I said to my sales team, I don't want you to explain to people that we're going to be teaching them OpenClaw. I said, because the strategy's changed. That's like 3 years ago teaching people ChatGPT, and then all of a sudden you were talking about Claude and Gemini. What we wanted to teach you was prompt engineering, right? And now we want to teach you agentic engineering, how you can control these agents. And 2 years ago, when we were talking workflow app, it was N8N, it was Flowwise, it was complicated. Now it's getting to the point where you need to know the power that these things can do, what skills are, how you give them skills, where you can find skilled marketplaces, and then you create workflows naturally. What do I mean by naturally? By simply saying something like, I want you, let's see here, I want you to go to the following 3 YouTube channels every single day, and I want you to scrape their latest videos, and I want you to put them into a Google Doc for me. Now, I just completely made that up, but I'm basically saying, like, in the past, you had to drag nodes onto a canvas, and now you talk to these agents. So I want to open up your mind to some of these things that are available. So let's talk about, let's open up Excalidraw, and I'm going to basically talk to you about the difference between Claude Code and Claude Cowork and what they are, right? So, and do me a favor, put in the chat if you can. If you've never heard of Claude Code and Claude Cowork until this webinar, put a 0. And if you're using it, and you're using it the way that I am, to create software and automate your business and do everything in your company, then put 100. And so let me know where you are with Claude Code and Claude Cowork on a scale of 0 to 100. Please put that in the chat for me. And this is a controversial take right here. I'm going to show you MikeFilsame.com. And it says, I've spent 20 years building the platforms marketers depend on. Now I'm building what replaces them. And that's basically, I'm not telling you guys that software is dead. There'll always, always, always be the click campaigns and everything like that. But when you can master agents in the background with these things, you're taking it to another level, but you need a skill of agentic engineering to be able to let a desktop computer where you talk to the computer, it becomes your employee and starts operating these tools. That's where we're going. So Matt and I have conversations every day. Let me take a sip here. Matt and I have conversations every day. Is software dead now that these agents are coming in? And in many cases, yes, they are. Russell Brunson saw it. He spoke to me about it. Not that ClickFunnels is dead. It's just different now, right? It's like, if you have the ability with Lovable or Page Builder, or what I'm going to show you with Claude Code, to build not just a page, but an entire site that would have taken you 3 to 4 days in ClickFunnels, that you can do in 15 minutes, and you can create a site with 18 pages, something like this. This is a prototype right here of scale.gg. Like something like this, we could build an entire website like this with every single page that you see here in about 15 minutes, right? This is something like even click campaigns and Page Builder can do it, but not at the speed of these agents, right? So we are realizing that for the first time in our lives, we are not even using the tools that we create for our members. We are not using Page Builder and Click Campaigns. What I've done is I've taken the brains of Click Campaigns and I brought them down into Claude Cowork and Claude Code and Cursor and created something that's called God Mode, where we can talk to these agents on Slack, Telegram, Discord, Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp, and all these different places, or directly in Claude Code. I'll be demoing that for you as well. And when you bring something down to the desktop, the power of the desktop just completely changes everything. All right, so let's go here and explain. So we know that there's ChatGPT, and the first real agent that got this right was something called Claude Code. And if I put in text here and we type in Claude Code, it started out as the CLI. Let's use the Claude colors. All right, it's the Claude Code CLI. Let me show you what that is. And I'm going to recommend to many of you, let me close that. That's let me open up another campaign here. Hold on just a second. In this agentic marketing mastermind, folks, we're going to be teaching you how to use GitHub. Like when you learn these workflows, you'll just be untouchable. Literally, we call it God mode. I just hope you have a little bit of technical ability for you, or you're partners with somebody on your team that's like, yeah, no, I get that, or I'm willing to learn. Like I didn't know any of this stuff a year ago, but I'm a little bit of a left brain guy, so this came easy for me. So I'm going to open up this thing here called Funnel Mastery. Just going to open up this repo here in Cursor. And this is probably the most, Matt, is that you? I'm hearing something in my ears. I don't know if you unmuted it by accident. Okay. I'm showing you, oops, this is the wrong one. Bear with me just a second. I have a few of these here, and some of them aren't actually GitHub repos. Yeah, just bear with me a second, guys. Sorry about that. I should have clicked on the recent one. I will open up one in just a minute, but I want to basically show you what's going on here. So what you see here, if you're familiar with Finder, right, where you see all of your different files right here on your desktop, downloads, your documents, etc. That's all that this is. Bear with me just a second. Let me just find out why I'm having a problem opening that. Let me do it this way here. Forget where I have it here. Boom, boom, boom. This is in Dropbox. Okay, so I'm going to open it this way. Sorry, guys. Let me open up. GitHub Desktop, and we're going to do add an existing repository. I'm just going to choose the path, and it said it was in my Dropbox. And what was that path? Sorry, guys, I hate when this happens. Claude Code, export projects, users, GitHub, funnel mastery. You should see it here, alphabetical. Oh, right here. Okay, let me just open that. It's created the repository for me here. I'm sorry, folks. I don't know why I'm having a problem finding it. Okay, great. So here we go. Let me just commit that. Oh boy. I really want to show you this, and I'm not sure why I'm having a problem finding that. Hold on. open folder. Let's try this one. Finally, oh my goodness, an important part of our presentation today. Okay, so what you have right here, let me close all of these different things here. What you have in this tool, this is called VS Code. This is a fork of it called Cursor, which simply means they added the ability for you to chat with this code base here. And as I showed you before, and I do apologize about that, I have this folder 5 different places on my hard drive, and I wasn't able to find the right one. And so if you're familiar with navigating folders here, right, and you open up a folder and you can see your different files, that's what's going on over here on the right side of our screen. I'm in a folder called Funnel Mastery. I'm going to explain to you why this is so important in just a minute. And I'm just looking at the different files, and I can click here, and I can just literally preview any file that it created for us. Here, I just click on preview, and I can see the asset here, right? You kind of get it, right? And then over here is the chat. This is just Cursor. And then I can talk to it and say, hey, modify this document, et cetera, et cetera. So I can talk with any file. And over here, this center section right here is called your canvas, right? This is where things will, your documents will open up. This is where, if you're looking at actual like code in the Markdown view, or like when I'm developing software, where you'll actually see like, you know, the JavaScript code and things like that. But the browser opens up here as well. Now, when Claude Code, this thing right here, first came out, it came out as the CLI. And everybody liked these nice little chat environments here that were a lot easier. But if I hit Command J, and I type in Claude, and we start a Claude session here, what happens is we were working in the terminal. Now I can right click here and move this. Hold on just a second. Let me close this one. I can right click this right here, and I can just move it to a new editor window. And so now it looks like more like a chat, but you're still working in the terminal. And if you're familiar with the terminal, that's this thing, like whenever it tells you like open up your terminal and type in this command, it's kind of like scary, but this is the most powerful way to use Claude Code. But they came out with something right after that called the Claude Code extension. So you go into the marketplace and you install this extension. And then when you have that, you simply start the Claude Code extension. And it's a little bit nicer of a nice UI chat. And so now I can chat with anything here. Now, Claude uses Opus 4.6. It's a very powerful model. It tends to reason a lot. It's not quite as fast. So sometimes I'll just use Composer, and I'll just ask a question like this, Cursor, and I'll say, hey, can you tell me about this repo folder? And because this is such a fast model, it can read this entire code base, just not code base, folder, and just tell me everything that's essentially going on here. Funnel Mastery is a content repository for Mike Filsame's funnel marketing course, co-created with Onyx and Gal. It's built for reading, repurposing, and AI assisted work, mostly Markdown. It's not an app code base. It tells me all about it, right? So like basically I can talk with the code base, but the nice thing is Claude Code with this extension is really, really super powerful. But I'll be honest, it's probably intimidating. Even the people that join the mastermind are still going to want to do it in the desktop. So then Claude came out with the Claude Code desktop, which is very similar. You select a folder, you say what folder you want to work in, and you can simply start doing your coding here. Now, we will be teaching coding, certainly not today. And there will be special classes for people that want to learn how to create software. I will tell you that Matt was not a software developer up until about 8 months ago, and now Matt can create any type of software. So if you're the type of person that likes that, we're going to have classes on that. But here's what happened as we build this out. Claude came out with the CLI, then they came out with the extension, which made it easier, right? And this is the one that I use. And then they came out with the desktop, which made it super easy. It's literally like so easy, right, to code. But here's what happened. I'll give you an example. Matt contacted me and he said, "Hey, Mike, do you remember when we had Anurup and we had this person in the company and Matt Nouse and do you remember when it was?" And I said, "What's the problem?" He says, "Well, we're forming our new company and we have so many different documents and contracts, ones that were signed by Donna, but not John, Joe, not Joe Jablonski, lots of different people in and out of the company over the years." And I said to him, and Matt said palm on forehead. He was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't think of that." I said, "Matt, just pull all of those documents right into a folder like this. Imagine these were the 10 different contracts signed and unsigned, and simply say, hey, we've had several companies over the years. It was Groove Digital and Groove Pages, and we had employees that came in and out of the company, and there were different shares that were given at different times. Some of the contracts were signed and not signed. I can't make any sense of this, and I need to get this over to our attorney to create a final document. Can you create a timeline for me?" And in 15 seconds, it answered Matt's question, right? So the reason why I'm saying that is that Claude, the people at Claude, if we go back to here, realized that they created a coding agent. They created a coding agent for their developers. And what they found was 50% of their staff was using this product. And they started talking to their staff and saying, "Stacy, you're in accounting. Why are you using Claude Code?" And they said, "Well, I can't use Claude at the chat because that's using the web browser, and it's processing everything online in a browser. With Claude Code, I'm able to do our accounting." And they started finding people were going to their CRM and Salesforce and downloading data and using it for presentations. And they were asking people in the marketing team, "What are you doing?" "Oh, it's writing our copy for us," and everything like that. Many of the things that we were doing. And that's why we call it agentic marketing, not agentic engineering, right? See, agentic marketing mastermind. And so Claude quickly realized, holy cow, there's an entire professional workspace of people that are using Claude Code. So they redid the application and they added a new tab here called Claude Cowork. And so when you work here, and I'm going to show you here, let me give you an example here. Let me see this one here. I know that we did one, and I think I renamed it. Let me just see here. Bear with me. I've done a couple of these, so I'm just looking for one that has, maybe I have to open this. Nope, there's just one file. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. Let me just open it. I did a lot of different tests. Okay, what is this here? We're getting there. This one here, this was a test. This was a test. These are markdown documents. So let's start from the top. This was me showing yesterday how to create a skill, funnel pages. Okay, I believe, okay, yeah. So this was an example I was showing people. What I'm actually doing right here is I'm using something we call God mode. And this is me talking to click campaigns. I'm talking to the agents through an API, and I'm able to use Claude Code here. And this shows you the progress of everything that it's doing. And I said, hey, read the document, and then it introduces itself as Alex, and it says, yes, I can help you build this. And like for an example, this right here, and what's nice about this compared to even using the IDE is you can see everything for you right in here, just like this. So the output that you get from Claude Code is quite impressive also. I'm really frustrated that I'm not seeing the, is this the one? Text. Yeah, I did a campaign. Unfortunately, I don't have everything here for you. Yeah, this is basically just showing how your how this can build pages for you outside of ClickCampaign. I'll get into that, more of that in just a minute. So they realized that their employees were using Claude Code, so they added another tab here, and the adoption for this was absolutely crazy. When they introduced Claude Cowork, they put things like LegalZoom out of business. Basically, they wiped out $1 trillion off the market cap because they're realizing, wow, this is now taking place of like law firms and every software that has like seats, where like Salesforce and everything. You're realizing now that this will now connect with Salesforce, and everybody can just go tell Salesforce what to do with just with natural language. So this is interesting. This is all the different pages here that were created. Let me just see here. Yeah, you can see it has a function to the way that it works, and we'll do a little demo of that in just a little while. So that, ladies and gentlemen, here on this presentation is what really changed the game was when they created a new version of called Claude Work. Just a couple of weeks ago was basically just a way for you to chat with files on your folders. And in the last week, they came out with about 7 new things. Number one, they came out with something called remote control, which means you can take any session and then get a link or QR code and take it over to your browser. Then they came out with the ability for you to now, you and your team, add Claude into any conversation on Slack, okay, here, and I can start any conversation with the Claude agent here, and I can just literally, and I know how to message in here. I just have to be careful. We have a lot of internal stuff in here, but I can go to chat. Oh, there it is, and I can say, hey, whoops, I'm in the emoji, right? And so now what I'm doing is I'm talking to my Claude desktop anywhere in the world. Okay, that's one of the things I want to let you know. They came out with connectors to allow me to use. So it wants to know which folder that I want to work in, and then I can talk. So what that means is I can now get one of these new computers or any old computer that I have from. I don't know if you know, Apple just changed the game. The cheapest computer you could get was a MacBook Air for $11.99, and now the new Apple came out with, let's just go to apple.com. We don't want the store. Apple just came out with these new Mac Neos. And for the first time, they're using the iPad A1 chip, and they're selling these computers for $599. If you're a student, you could get it for $499, and these are about as powerful as a MacBook Air was a year ago, and now you could get it for $499. And so I have a couple of old Macs that I've set up around the house, and what I've done is I've turned Claude Code. You can go into these settings now. And in your settings, they have these new things like run on startup. They have keep computer awake, which is caffeinate. And what that means is I have this working on another computer. And when this is on, I can put my laptop in clamshell mode. I can literally close my laptop, and you would think that it's off. In fact, even if I open it, it has to like reboot, and you got to put the power, your password in and all that. And I've enacted browser use, and this is something that they can do that even OpenClaw can't do. It has computer use. Excuse me, and I'm going to show you that video right now that it means it can actually take control of your computer. And let me show you what that means. If we go to YouTube, and look, you see what they're doing? Anthropic Cowork. It's the latest thing. Like everybody's literally talking about it. It's a little complex to learn how to use it in the workflows, and that's what we're going to be teaching. And they did in the last 51 days, Anthropic shipped 71 different updates. It's nearly impossible to keep up with this stuff, but in any agentic engineering, if you want to operate a God mode, this is what happens. So I'm going to put in Anthropic official. Let's go to their channel. Let's find that video. Okay, latest. Introducing, this is a month ago, so that could be their latest video. Or it's just their videos. I hate when everybody has like a playlist. So I'm going to just put Anthropic computer use. Okay, and you can see everybody's doing videos about it. I want to find the official one that they have. Bear with me just a second, guys. I'm going to just go to my history here. I'll look for it. Claude Cowork. Maybe I should put Cowork computer use. That was the problem. Computer use. Claude Cowork computer use. Okay, everything I have here is all like YouTubers showing it. Oh, here it is from Claude. Okay, I wanted to show you this short 1-minute version. And I'm going to pause it a lot so that you can really understand what's going on. Okay, reach your desktop from your pocket. So the first thing it's saying is that you can get a desktop link, or you could pair the Claude Code app to your Claude Code desktop. Like when the deck is on your laptop, but you aren't. And again, the reason why I'm saying this is I'm putting it on a second laptop is this takes over your computer. And I don't want this having access to my regular laptop. I can and I will, but I actually want to create agents that have access to their own computer, because I'm going to explain to you what that means in just a minute. I was reading the chat instead of paying attention here. Let's see what they say here. I'm running late for an appointment. Can you export my pitch deck as a PDF and attach it to my 2 p.m. invite? So what it's showing you right here is that even OpenClaw, there's no technology out there. All of the different technologies like OpenClaw, they're allowed to use a temporary browser. And that means once the browser closes, if they log back in, they don't even have access anymore, and they have to constantly ask you for the passwords. And if you give them the passwords, then you've leaked the passwords, which can get hacked. And that's the big security problems with these OpenClaw things. Claude Code solved this a couple of ways, because it has access to your browser that's already logged in, and you could give it sites that it's allowed to visit and not visit. And I'll show you that in a minute. But what's really important here is Claude is the only one, because 3 months ago, they acquired a company. I forget the name. It was something like Vortex or something like that. I forget the name. And it was a computer use company. So what you're seeing is it's actually opening up a software on the computer and operating it. It has access to the desktop with vision, the keyboard, and the mouse, and it actually runs the computer like a human. And I'm going to talk to you about the incredible ramifications that gives. You see that right here? It dragged it to the calendar with them. It's usually literally using the mouse to create the file, get it on the desktop, and it drags it right onto the computer. All right, so this one I'm going to skip because this is for developers, and let's go to this next one right here. Watch what it says here. Or when there are 150 photos to process, but you have dinner plans. This is the person, the human. Can you batch process all of the shop photos that are on my desktop, size them to 1200 pixels, and add the white logo on the bottom right? I ran out of time to do it myself, and the little face here. So you are now using Telegram or WhatsApp or Discord or Microsoft Teams or Slack to communicate with your agent or the Claude desktop app. So it opens up Pixel Forge, which might as well be Photoshop or Pixelmator, or you can imagine in the future, it's going to be Adobe Premiere and Final Cut and these different things. And now that they have access to vision, a keyboard, and a mouse, and they're basically geniuses, these things now take over your computers. So you want to have this thing running on a computer. And again, I'll show you one in a minute. Okay, so it imported every photo that was on the user's desktop, and they're all just splattered all over the place. It brings in one at a time. The user wanted it resized to 1200 by 1200. And now it's doing it to all 150. And I don't know if you noticed what it did here. Right here, this part right here. It has to add the logo to the bottom right. Right here. Okay. It does that to 150. Done. 103 photos added to a new folder on your desktop. Might as well have been a Dropbox. So imagine being like, oh my goodness, I don't have that presentation. It's not in my Dropbox folder and I just got on the plane. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I worked all night on the presentation. I forgot to put it in my Dropbox. You're screwed. And that's happened to me before. Imagine now being able to just chat and say, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you move that folder from my Dropbox to from my desktop to my Dropbox? You have somebody that actually has access to your computer. In the past, I'd have to call Matt and say, Matt, can you drive from Wellington to Boca and move that thing for me? So this is a lame example, what they're showing here, of computer use. Let me show you how actually powerful this would be. Sabri Subi, this guy's a literal genius. And let me show you a video that he sent, that I sent to Donnie French, my buddy. So, man, my texts are blowing up. Donnie French. Okay, I sent him this video right here. I'm going to tie all this together for you folks in just a second.
This is how to make FU money with Facebook ads. I've spent over $200 million on Facebook ads in over 1,000.
I'm going to paste this in the chat because I think you guys might want to watch this video later. Let me see how to do this. See if you guys get this. Send to everyone. All right, so you should be able to see that. If you don't, let us know, and I'll have Matt get it to everybody. So this is a 35-minute masterclass. In fact, Sabri's entire channel is a masterclass.
1,000 different niches to generate my.
So what he does is he goes over what ads are working right now and why they're working and what's not working. And then later on, he goes on to show you the anatomy of the ad, like what this needs to say, how the copy needs to look, what it's not supposed to look like, the pattern interrupt image, everything like that. You can take this transcript like this and copy it. And I'm going to. And I can go into Claude Code and Claude Cowork. That's what we'll be using. And I can create a new skill, and that's in customized skills. And I can literally just talk to it right here, create with Claude. And I can say, hey, do me a favor, take this transcript and turn it into a skill. And I would paste. Now, I'm not going to do that now because this is something I actually want to do, and it's going to create a skill. So let's take a little pause to talk about what skills are. Skills are what power all of the agents in Click campaigns. It's how to do things the right way. So if we go back to Excalibur and we open up that one that we were just in, and if we are to look at a skill, what is it really? A skill on two levels are actually two different things. On a high level, it's called an SOP, or a standard operating procedure. On a lower level, it's a recipe. And I'm literally talking a recipe out of a recipe book. What does a recipe have? A recipe has what a finished product looks like. It has the picture of the finished product, or an example of the finished product. It also has all of the techniques that are used. It has the ingredients, the process, and the tools. So you will use a skillet, a 400-degree oven. Your ingredients that are listed is the olive oil and different things like that. And then it gives you the process. And so the truth is, if you watch a Gordon Ramsay video on how to create a beef Wellington, and you do it 2 or 3 times, you will create a beef Wellington that you could serve at Gordon Ramsay's restaurants, and the customers wouldn't know the difference. Why? Because you have the recipe, right? So the problem is, if we ask agents to do work without first giving them skills, and skills are taking over the agentic industry. This is probably the most important thing, is that you build up skills. And then every agent will work exactly the way that you want because they're following a standard operating procedure, right? When you are hired to go work in a company, you are hired because you have a certain skill. They give you their standard operating procedures that works with your skills. And then when something goes wrong in the company, you could be like, hey, how come that page doesn't have a favicon? Oh, well, the standard operating procedure says that we need to have a favicon. We need to make sure it's published. It has our Google Analytics. It has our privacy policy on there. And that's John's job. And John, you didn't follow the procedure, right? Everything has a way to do things. And that's when you look at a recipe. If I were to say to an AI, make me a chicken dish, right? The AI would come up and give me chicken a la king. And you know what I would say? I would go, well, I did ask for a chicken dish, so I'm going to go enjoy this chicken a la king, but that is not what I had a craving for, right? What did I have a craving for? Well, a guy from Long Island, New York, I want a chicken parmesan, and I wanted the chicken sliced, then I want it pounded thin, and I want it cooked in olive oil, and I want to use Italian breadcrumbs, and I want spicy marinara sauce, and I want this and that, and I want it cooked a certain way. So now I have a recipe with that skill, and now I'm going to get exactly what I want. So when you want output, the reason why our output looks so consistent in click campaigns is because I wanted the output to look a certain way. So I gave it a skill with examples. I didn't just give a prompt that says create a good webinar registration page for the user based on their brand document. No, we gave it a list of skills. And the beautiful thing is now with Claude Code, you can just tell it to create the skill. And there's a skills marketplace. And there's people like me and Rich Sheffrin that have skills that we share with our community. Okay, so that is now what I want you to understand. If we come back to Claude Cowork, and then we're going to go back to Claude Code in a minute, because they're the same engine, just different interfaces. Here's what I want you to realize that we're going to be building, and this is going to be a done with you program. You're going to be looking over our shoulder, and we're going to invite you to do these things with us. And everybody in my mastermind is going to be doing this, right? And this takes a lot of time and knowledge and expertise, and me watching all the YouTube videos and building it myself. And this is going to be the future of our company. And here's what I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine that you have, now each of these computers can run about 4 to 5 agents at a time. So I'm probably going to set up, because I have Windows computers. I have a couple of different computers. I have my wife's old 13-inch MacBook. You don't need anything other than a computer. You create a new user on the profile so it doesn't have access to your other data. And so picture I have these different computers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create these little agents, right, on here. Very similar to the way they are in click campaigns, but we're going to create a skill for everything. Every single YouTube video I watch on how a Facebook ad needs to be set up, or how to manage a campaign, or how anything, you name it. The game just changed, folks. What I just showed you, the fact that these computers, these agents now have access to an actual computer and a browser with permanent session login, because that is something that OpenClaw has a problem with. Because if we go back to the settings, and guys, this is the worst it's ever going to be. It's just going to keep getting better and better and better. We have the ability here. I gave it permission to do screen recording, so it's watching my screen in real time. And I can deny apps that I don't want it having access to on my computer. And with the browser, there's a couple of other places where I can say, hey, you're not allowed to see these different things, these websites. But now I can train a skill for a Facebook ad person. I can have another agent on the team that designs the creatives. And I can have Alex, the main agent, or who's essentially Claude Code, create a plan. And what we're going to do is we're going to create what we call the CMO agent. And then we're going to create the CRO agent. And the CMO agent is going to run my entire marketing team. I'm going to train this person on the more things I'm interested with this person is its goals and its instructions on what to do. It doesn't really need a set of skills. And the same thing with this agent is on the chief revenue officer, how to optimize every single campaign that we have. And then the CMO, these two agents are going to communicate, and their job, since they're agents, is they will work 24/7 to follow up on these different agents. One that designs our ads, our copywriters, our people. And where this goes beyond click campaigns is these people do what, unfortunately, click campaigns just can't do. That technology doesn't exist unless you get on to a desktop. So we are going to have a team of agents that can actually operate a computer. So imagine these agents are talking to each other and keeping all of their assets organized and then communicating and handing them off. And then that creative, and then one agent opens up a browser and goes into my Facebook ad set and looks at the different ad sets and then clicks the plus button and creates a new ad. And I give it instructions on how to monitor the ads and create split tests and create. And where's it getting the information? It's getting it from the information I'm getting from Sabri Subri. He's telling me how ads need to look. I'm going to give examples. It's going to say the ads need to look like everything you see in this Google Drive. You could create iterations. You split test different versions of the ad in different colors and different headlines and different sales copy and everything like that. And I'm going to say you can, for each ad, you get a $50 budget until it becomes a winner. When it becomes a winner, scale it and do the split testing. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we finally have the ability for these agents to actually take over. We're going beyond just click campaigns. Because click campaigns is about creating the assets for you, but then you're the human in the loop. You have to take that and go create the Facebook ads. There's just no way to do that with click campaigns. But I want to show you something that I have access to here, and that is something that we call God mode. And with God mode, we have the ability, as you can see, I am hooked up here to click campaigns. Me and everybody in my team can access all of our agents in Slack or Telegram or Discord or WhatsApp or GitHub or Microsoft Teams. The God mode comes with the mastermind because it involves extensive training with Claude Code and Claude Code Desktop. I'm going to show you essentially what that means. What we do is we are in the marketplace here. You'll see we have a product called God mode. I have it enabled here on my computer. Okay. And I know we're about an hour and a half in. I'll let you know where you could get access to this, and we'll probably just stay on for another hour because I got to show you a lot more like really, really cool things that you can do with this stuff. Okay. So when you have this here, that means that you can now pin that extension. And once you have that extension here, we just need to set a folder that we're working. We set this as our folder. And you'll notice that I'm already logged in and connected. Okay, so I went to my account. When you click here, it gives you a link. It opens up to click campaigns. Make sure you're authenticated. You're a God mode user. And then it gives you an authorization token. It tells you to import your API keys because there's certain things that we can't do, only can be done on a desktop. We tell you to put your Firecrawl API, your Pexels API key, and your Gemini API key. Stuff we'll go over in the trainings. And then we also have campaigns. And what you can do with God mode is you can create a campaign the way that you're used to, okay? Just as you see me do many times here before. You do your copywriting, right? You do your emails, and then you say that you want a webinar, short webinar, right? And when you're done, you come in here and you click Save and Continue. You attach your brand-based document. You click Next, and your campaign instructions here that you would give, okay? And you'll notice with God mode, we have this thing here that says Create with God mode, and you have two options. You could download this context file, or you can click generate an auth token. And what's going to happen, it's the same thing is going to happen, but instead of kicking off in the browser, you now have the God mode capabilities, and you click copy token, and you come over to here, and you say add campaign token. You give it a name. We'll just call it test demo. And I put that API key in here, and it only works with this authenticated account and with this key. And I click save, and now I simply more things over here in God mode. We give you the ability to set up this tutorial videos here, how to install cursor. Again, this stuff is high tech. There's no way we're including this in a ClickCampaign subscription because it requires hours and hours and hours and hours of training. We will get nothing but refunds if I include this in a ClickCampaign subscription. People will be like, I didn't know I had to download Claude Code and watch 4 hours of videos, etc. So this is part of our mastermind only because we're taking this stuff into the Claude Code CLI, which requires a lot of different training. We have to teach you how to use GitHub Desktop, how to download this extension for ClickCampaigns. Then you download the framework. This literally exports the entire brains of ClickCampaigns down there for you and set up your API keys. You start building. We basically give you the starter prompt that you need to get up and running, read the Claude.md file, and now you're able to do some of the following different things for you. All right, so let me take a little sip, we'll take a little break. I haven't even seen the webpage yet. I know Lucius has been working on it, so I'm gonna get you the links that you can get started with this if you want. This is gonna be an incredible mastermind. As I said, we're gonna be selling this for 10K. You guys can get it for 5K today. And let me find, Lucius is saying no sales yet. Yeah, because we didn't drop the link yet. Let's see here. I believe the link that you guys want is, I just had it and I scroll to the next one. Okay, page is ready at clickcampaigns.ai/god-mode. No, that's webinar. That's the webinar page. That's the one that you guys registered for. Hold on just a minute. The checkout page is at clickcampaigns.ai/God mode. Could you make that any easier, right? So you just go to clickcampaigns.ai/God mode. You'll see some different testimonials here on the webpage. And this one right here, again, that's probably the most important one here. These are different people that we've just literally changed their lives. I highly recommend you get a chance to watch some of these videos. This is Marnie. She owns Wing Women, Mary Ellen Tribby, they're from Centerpoint, Atiba DeSouza here. This is a gentleman I met on the Marketers Cruise. He said, Mike, I want to be the first one on the mastermind. These are all the existing, some of the existing members. Mike Hill, he's a legendary marketer. Paul Hoffman. And the price to get in, folks, right here, you could get in for 5K. If you want to just skip the line, get right in. We're going to start April 15th. And if you want to go with 2 payments, it's $27.50. And if you have more questions and you prefer to talk to us, just click here, book your discovery call. Now, I do want to let you know, just put here that you're making $20,000 to $40,000 a month. Otherwise, it's going to kick you out. I'm talking with the guys about that. They're very firm on the type of people that we want in here. And I want people to be able to self-select. So if you have more questions and you want to get on a call with us, I might make the call. We'll talk about how it works in your business. You just click apply. They originally wanted us to put a $500 booking fee. I'm going to waive that for you guys. I don't want to insult your intelligence, but that's what it's going to be when we start advertising it on Facebook. Please, later when we get off, watch these different presentations right here, and you will be joining our mastermind. As I said, we're going to be meeting every single Friday. You will get access to all of these God mode tools that you download. We're going to teach you how to use it. You will be getting the ability to attend our mastermind virtually if you don't want to get on a plane, because I know many of you are all over the world. And if you do want to get on a plane, 3 times a year, we're going to be doing it in our brand new studio. And you can bring yourself and up to 2 people. And once you purchase this, you're getting access to this for you and your partner, your spouse, every employee, every single person on your team, because we're going to be talking about how this applies in your company. We're going to take you to the next level. We really prefer that you have a business because that's how it turbocharges. That's how you go from 100 grand to a $500,000 to $1 million in 1 year doing this, because your throughput. This is literally, like I said, for the stuff that used to cost us $70,000 in 17 days, right? We're doing now in 20 minutes for the cost of just tokens. All right, so that is at clickcampaigns.ai/God mode. All right, this is an introductory offer that we're opening up for you guys, and then after that, it'll be available through mostly through upsells where we call people that buy the product for 10K. We wanted to go out to our lifetime members and our existing members that have always supported us at a 50% discount. So that's at clickcampaigns.ai/God mode. All right. Now, let me show you the power of like God mode in action. So what we have here, we have my product launch tree. And when I went to go get launch tree to find it, I couldn't find it. This product goes back to 2009. Okay. And in 2009, I don't even remember what laptop I had. I thought that I would have backed up this course somewhere on my hard drive or Dropbox. Guess what? It's nowhere. So what I did is I reached out to Onyx and Gal, because this was the best-selling product on funnels in the history of marketing, and probably held that title for at least 10 years. At least 10 years. We sold 7,700 people into that product in 4 days. 7,700 people bought LaunchTree. We wrote the book on funnels, upsells, downsells. I hate to say this, but many of the things that's been put into the funnel courses over the years was literally they went through that course and then repurposed it, which is okay. I'm sure I've done the same exact thing over the years, right? We stand on the shoulders of giants. But this was the first book of its kind. And I asked Anik, and he says, no, dude, I've been looking for it. I don't have it. I said, do you have anybody on your team that might have it? He says, no. So fortunately, I went to a torrent website, and I found it at a torrent website where somebody was giving it away for free. And I was like, oh my God, this is like a Dropbox link to my entire product. And I downloaded it, and I put it in here. And everything that has an underscore is the original part of the course. So these were images that that came with it. These here, all of the different PDFs. This is all of the training program. This doesn't render PDFs, but like if I wanted to open this in a browser like this, you'll see that like the entire course literally was here, just like this. So this was mainly the course, all of these different things. Frank Kern, right? Open in browser, right? So we had like an interview with Frank Kern, really, really good stuff. And then here was a case study, Russell Brunson's transcript. So that was all of our PDFs. Then we had videos, okay? And the videos were all of these different videos. And the problem was they were .flvs. And if you remember, that stood for Flash Video. And Flash, Steve Jobs killed Flash, right, with HTML5. And I didn't even have a way to watch the videos. I had to go download VLC player. If some of you know what that is. If you know, right? One of these old programs to play, videos. Now everything's on the web. This is how the web used to work. And so I typed in here this folder, just copied the path. And I said, hey, in the folder that I just gave you preceding this text, there are about 10 to 15 different videos. Can you do me a favor? Can you transcribe these videos for me? And it just goes to work. And I see, oh, I'll need to create a Python file because this is an FLV and blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. And it starts creating all of these different files inside of this repository. And I said, okay, great. And I start seeing it say, in order to transcribe this, I'm going to need to use a transcription tool. I'll use OpenAI's Whisper. And I said, all right, here we go. It's going to need an API key. And I went to platform.openai. And I'm like, I think it's over here. No, it's not in the docs. It's in the dashboard. And you have to click on API keys. and I create a new API key. And when I'm done, I get back and I see 3 of the videos are already transcribed. And that would have been right here, videos transcribed. I see these videos are already transcribed. Welcome to Funnel Management. My name is Onyx Singala, et cetera, et cetera. And I said to myself, and by the way, the product was called Launch Tree. I did a find and replace and had to change everything in the repo. And so I waited till it was done because I got freaked out. I was like, how the hell did it get my API key? So I said, hey, Claude, let me ask you a question. I'm glad that you transcribed this, but how did you get my API key? Did you find it somewhere else on my computer? Because that would have scared me. And it said, no. OpenAI's Whisper is open source. So I went to GitHub, I downloaded it on your computer, and I installed it, and I used it to run this. So what I want you to know is these things are goal-oriented. You tell it what you want, it figures out a way to complete the goal that you want. And it created all of these different transcriptions for me. So great. The next thing that I did is I said, you know what? I spent a lot of time on the butterfly marketing manuscript. And this manuscript, and this is something that's very interesting. I'm going to say this to you here because it's kind of funny. When I tell you this, with the exception of Grammarly and right-clicking for when you made a mistake, you're going to not believe me for a second when I say this. But 4 years ago, before November 22nd of 2022, when ChatGPT came out, do you know that every single word that was ever in a book or every word that was on the internet, every single character was stroked by the keyboard of a human touching a key on a keyboard, everything that existed? You're going to tell your kids this one day, and they're going to be like, what? I don't even understand what you're saying. You're going to be like, yeah, we actually wrote every single word sequentially. And like, even now when I hear that, I'm like, that's not true. Like every word out there, nothing. Yeah, there was no such thing as generative text. So this, what I like about this is my brain. I actually created this course, and there was a lot on funnels and upsells there. So I put it into here as well. And then what I did is I opened up Claude. Well, we have it right here. And I took this and I copied the path. And I said, hey, this file right here, can you do me a favor? Can you analyze it for my writing style? I want you to be extremely thorough with this. Create a thorough writing style guide. So if I ever ask you to write something like Mike Filsame, you can write it and it'll look identical to me. And I hit enter and it got to work and it created this right here for me. And so this is the Mike Filsame writing style guide. My core voice characteristics, I write first person, direct address. So it's I talking to you. This creates immediate urgency. I don't talk to an audience, I talk to a person. Apparently this was like me, being psychoanalyzed, right? Examples, I want to congratulate you. Conversational informality. I include casual asides, things like yada, yada, heck yeah, duh, this is a no-brainer. Yeah, I know, broken record here, right? Okay, and that's because I spelled okay wrong. I didn't spell it the proper way. Wow, LOL. I use smiley faces, emoticons, not emojis. I say things like no joke, if I may. Are we clear? Some I will see there, etc. Rhetorical questions. So what does this have to do with this, right? And all of these different things. Now, anytime I tell it to write something, and by the way, this goes on and just keeps going on. This is basically how I write. And then I said, this was from 2009. I see my bio was old. I said, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you research Mike Filsame and update my bio? We're going to use that. And then I said, hey, can you go through this repo and now that I have everything transcribed and go through all the PDFs to training, and can you tell me what's out of date? And boy, it went through it in about 4 minutes. It says, holy cow, you are really out of date on 2 things. Number one, modern continuity and trial best practices. What has changed since 2009? The digital marketing landscape has evolved. Payment processors, the FTC, you want to avoid dollar trials, forced continuity, things like that, and all these different things. And it basically said, these are the things that have changed, and these are the new things that you want to do. And I said, what else? And it said, we've moved away from what it coined upsell hell. You don't want to have upsell 1, upsell. This is the old model. Checkout, upsell 1, upsell 2, downsell, thank you page, etc. It says the new model is basically one upsell to a VSL, a setter, a caller, and you do a high ticket on the back end. It talked about advertising now uses the self-liquidating offer. You want to break even on the front end, you make your money on the back end, everything like that. I said, okay, great. So now we can create an addendum guide on everything that's new. And then I said, can you do me a favor? What can we do with this? It said I can identify frameworks that are sparingly sporadic all throughout the course, and I can codify them into frameworks. I said, okay, great. Let's create a folder called frameworks. So it identified these different frameworks here, like the 25 upsell ideas framework, the retention strategies framework, the pricing rules strategy, like how to price for different types of funnels, the obstacles versus objections frameworks. So it created these additional frameworks. And then once I had the frameworks, I said, oh, okay, well, let's create something over here called, we have this thing called infographics. So I want you to create infographics on those frameworks for me and just create the prompts for me. So it creates these little prompts right here that I can literally just copy this right here and bring it over to Imager. Not Imager, Creator Studio. And I could click on infographic and you'll actually see I've actually created some infographics on some of these things in the past. Let me see here. Let's just do one for the heck of it, right? We'll create a new one by pasting text. I simply paste that in and I can say, I forget what it was, but let's just say pricing framework, right? And now I have assets that I can use for social media. We'll create one and I'll create that, since it's an infographic, let's use my brand colors here as well. And let's create that infographic. And so what we're gonna get is an infographic ways for social media that I can repurpose this content. I can have it write emails to promote this for me, literally write me an email to promote them. Let me show you the most important thing that I did here. Here was the advanced funnel addendum. I said, hey, is there anything missing from this that we should add? It was like, yeah, you don't talk about getting traffic. So it created this. I said, hey, can we write a book? I've never actually written a book here, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to ask you in the chat if you believe that I wrote this book, right? So this is all of my information that I dumped in. And I said, let's create a book. And it says, well, the best way to create a book first is we'll need to create an outline. And let me see, I thought I just saw that here. Book outline for funnel mastery. So it creates the outline here to write the book. And after it wrote this outline, and I don't know how long this thing goes, I said, great, now can you write me the book? I know I keep saying literally a lot. I said to it just like this, and did I accidentally close that? I think I just closed that by accident. I said to it, okay, now that you have the outline, I want you to use this writing style. I want you to write the book in my writing style. And if there's not enough information in the outline, please use this folder repository to do research on the subject so that you are not making anything up. I want all of the things that come from the book to actually come from something that's in the course. If it's not in the course, you can't put it in the book. And if it's in the book, it must have come from the course. And I did that and I hit enter. And what ended up happening in about 12 minutes, I got this thing that you see right here called Funnel Marketing Mastery Method Book. That I can now take this book and self-publish it or take it to a publisher, and I can bring it to Amazon. Let me actually render it like this. Command-Shift-V. And everything I'm showing you here, folks, can be done with Claude Cowork, probably easier and a little bit more easier for a workflow. I'm so used to working like this that it's just easier for me. So if you look at the chapters here of this book, here's the chapters that it wrote this book from everything that I combined from my butterfly marketing manuscript and launch tree and transcripts, and modernized it for so it's not giving old things here. And if you look here, if we close this and you see me scrolling this scroll bar, it's really hard to see that scrolling right here. If I grab that thing and I scroll, I can't tell you, this is something like a 220 page actual book. And let's see if it actually reads like me. So we'll read some of this stuff here. Let me tell you a story that changed everything for me. It was 2006, and I had just pulled off what I thought was an impossible feat. My product launch had crossed the $1 million mark. I was only the second marketer in history to achieve that at that time. Champagne was flowing. My team was celebrating. I felt like I had cracked the code. And I had absolutely no idea how much money I was leaving on the table. So here's what happened. I'd spent months, literally months, perfecting my sales page, et cetera, et cetera. And this writes like me. Look at the way I say, okay, let me show you some numbers, right? And as it goes on, okay, let me ask you some questions, right? This is how I literally talk to people, right? Let me tell you about my friend, but first, so you're probably asking, what should I do now, right? And this is something I can now turn into a book. So I'm going to put in the chat, folks, do you think I wrote this book? I think I did, because it's my writing style. It's the way we work now by repurposing our own content. And what I don't think is, if I would have went to Claude Code and said, write me a book on funnel marketing, and make it 200 pages, it would do that. But I didn't write that book. That book would not be based on my writings. This is literally something that I can now give away as a freemium. I could put it on Amazon, and I could give the Kindle or the PDF version away and say, guys, I have a $29 book, but here's a book funnel that I'm giving you, my funnel mastery method book, for free. It's a $25 value, $97 value. You get the point. So I wanted to show you here how you can repurpose content, but it doesn't just end there. Once you repurpose content, right, using these Claude Code methods, there's a couple of tools out there that are changing the game. Number one is Notebook LM. And so with Notebook LM, I have this, now you can export your information, all your different stuff, and you just literally add the sources, right? I would just literally find that file on my computer and upload any of the files from there, or I can paste the text in here, or I can share a Google Drive. You get that, right? I would build a knowledge base, and when I have the stuff that I want, I check the ones that I want, and then I can come here and I simply click on audio overview, slide deck, video overview, flashcards, infographics, mind maps, etc. And at the beginning, when I played the orchestration era for you, here, that was me taking my thoughts that I developed with Claude Code.
Okay, so let's talk about
and creating this. But let me show you what they just came out with. When you click on create a video overview, they came out with, now I don't know if I have it because I'm paid, and I do believe it requires a paid plan. They used to just do explainers and briefs, and that's what I paid for you. But they now have cinematic. So this will now create your VSLs for you and do full animations. And I think if I exit out of here and I go into a different version here that I tried over here, I tried the video overview, the cinematic. You see it says cinematic, and watch how the videos actually play out here.
People are currently refinancing 30-year mortgages and opening college savings accounts. Rewrite its governing rules within the next 1,000 days. Many people treat AI as a digital conversationalist, a tool for drafting.
See, it made these images with Nano Banana, and it finds, if I mention Imad Mostak, it found him on the web. So this is a world model creating this video.
Or answering questions. We honestly execute complex,
so you see it creates animations,
professional workflow. Second, specialized AI chips allow digital agents to become an economic drag.
And this was a style. They give you like 15 different types of styles that you can choose from. So I just want to see here. Let me try a different one here. Let me go back. Let me try this one. Why AI breaks? Oh, this one here. And you can choose a male voice, a female voice. I believe I'll show you like basically how that works.
When we plan for tomorrow. When we plan for tomorrow replacement, This competent AI won't
See, it's
always
using
rely
B-roll
on massive
images.
centralized server farms. Good enough models are
So it's almost like a PowerPoint with animated and moving images that create exact concepts that you want. Look at this, right? Like this was literally taken out of the context of the text that was given.
an expensive service you rent by the hour from a corporation or a salaried employee. It becomes a cheap, abundant, and permanent resource that you own
And I'll show
outright.
you some other things
Modern markets are built
that are
around
available
pricing
to
and
do right
monetizing
now. So I'm going to go to our imager, and I'm going to take an image that was recently created. I want to see here. Let's just take this. I'm going to download this. And let me go to Canva. You know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to show it to you on YouTube. And I'm going to put in here Canva layers. This is a new thing that came out. So the biggest problem that we had was when you would do images with Nano Banana, the problem that you get
In this
is that if you want to make a change, you can't. Well, Canva just added this new feature that when you put an image onto the canvas like
Once the
this, you click right here, edit, and you click on
image is added to the
Magic Studio and you click on Magic Layers, and watch what happens now. You can take any image that you do with AI and do the following now.
Look at the left side panel. Under Magic Studio, you'll see the option called Magic Layers. Click on it, and Canva will start analyzing the image. After a few seconds, Canva automatically separates the different elements inside the design. Now you'll notice that the design has been converted into multiple layers. This means you can edit the text, remove objects.
You got it, right? So now you can actually, it interprets the text. So you can edit the text, you can move to the back, move to the front. If there's an image of a person that doesn't look like you could go to your imager and get the images and swap it out, etc.
Move elements individually, or even add new elements to the design. This feature is really
complete game changer. So let me show you, like when you do something with even click campaigns, Gamma, we have a new feature now that exports for an outline for Gamma. And this was a demo I did earlier today with Tihar and Vecker's company. This was basically me taking this campaign here. If we go into click campaigns, and we look here, the demo we did for Tihar Vecker, and I looked at the asset, and I typed in, let's see, slides. Okay, and I took all of this like this, and I just copied this, and I pasted it into Gamma like this. I clicked Create New, paste in text, just like that. Whoops. Well, you follow what I mean, right? Whatever that was. And then I clicked Generate Notes, and I went to here, and I want to show you what they've created that's new now, right? I think the theme that I used for that presentation was like this purple one right here, like that. But once I was done, I clicked on Classic and Studio, right? They have two different versions. This is brand new. It's about 2 weeks old. The Classic creates PowerPoint presentations that look like this. The old keynote style, right? Image on the left, title slide, etc., 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 right? So here you can now, with Gamma, do something new when you're creating the presentation. As I showed you before, you can choose Studio, and the Studio version, I just went back into the Studio version, everything here is an image, and it literally creates the image. But the only problem is this image, that's not Mike Filsaime, that's not Jitendra. So now I can literally just take this image, right click on it, copy the image, go to Canva, swap, do the layers, the magic layers, and swap the people. So you now can have presentations that every slide is an image, but it's actually taking the concept of the slide and creating the visuals for you. So the workflows, like look at this, like adding a Google search image here, right? Like on here, this is just literally changing the game for us now, like big time. I can't explain how these workflows are changing the game. And as I said, with God mode, you have the ability, if we go back to click campaigns, let's keep this page open. You have the ability here to right click here and go to God mode and download these workflows so that you can work on it with Claude Cowork, and or you want to do it like me here and do it inside of like here, where you're just talking to the agent, talking to the folders. It's really not that intimidating once you get started. You can use either way. We are also going to be doing classes on how to generate software applications. Let me show you a testimonial. This is a true story. This gentleman right here, his name is Rev, and take a look at what happened here.
Hey, my name is Revin Beg. I'm the founder and CEO of Life 180, and I had the pleasure of spending some time with Mike Phil Same on the Marketers Cruise this year. Ran into him at breakfast, and he showed me some stuff on utilizing AI for coding, and I was able to go back to my room with just that little bit of information and a little coaching he did from stage and build what a tool that I was getting quoted just months earlier, $60,000 to build. After that, I went and I spent 4 hours with him in Florida, and he showed me what he calls God mode is in his agentic marketing mastermind. And after that, in the last 6 weeks, I literally, with no coding experience, no background in this at all, I'm a financial guy, marketing guy, sure, but like I know nothing about coding, nothing. And I've been able to build software that has completely revolutionized my company. It has changed the way I'm doing business. It's literally software that I've been getting quotes of over $1 million to be able to build and implement. Not only was I able to do it by myself with no coding experience, no expense, but it took me just 6 weeks to do it, and we're about to deploy this coming week. So thank you, Mike. I owe you more than I could even explain. This is a game changer.
So what happened here with Rev, true story, we were on the Marketers Cruise, and I met him last year. Beautiful, very attractive couple. His wife is beautiful, and she became friends with my wife Michelle, and they introduced them to me on the last day on the cruise, and we had dinner at the captain's table, but they kind of sat across the table, and I didn't really get to know them too well. So he met up with me on the Marketers Cruise this year, and he said, "Hey, what are you doing at the first island?" I said, "Hey, we're just going to meet for breakfast." I'll move this up so it doesn't keep. By the way, click campaigns.ai. Whoops. Click campaigns.ai/God mode. That's where you'll go for this. 2 payments of $27.50, or just go down here and click that you want to talk to us. Remember, if you put here that you're making $20,000 a year, it won't even let you go. I have to talk with them. I disagree with that. So just click here if you want to talk to us. We'll get on a call. We'll go over your business with you. We'll help you arrange financing if you need, or you want to break it up over payments over the next 6 months, that type of stuff. If you want to get in, make sure to get in. This is, if you want to just skip the line and get right in, and you want to do for 5K, save yourself some money, do for 5K or the $27.50. But if you're in this and you need to talk and you need us to work with you over a couple of months or whatever the case is, I don't want price to be the barrier. I want your faith in yourself and how technical you are. And you know who you are. I know the right brain people. I know it may not be for everybody. That's why I pray that you have somebody in your company that, oh, my technical guy can come in, great. And you can attend these sessions. If you enjoyed it today, you'll enjoy those things. If you need a builder on your team to build it, maybe you'll have somebody on your team that you can understand the concepts and you can say, go build that. What Mike said today, I want that. Okay. I think the most important thing is just to book that call. Right? We're not going to ask you for a deposit just to see if it's right for you and how you can extend the terms or whatever to get into this mastermind. You really, really want to get in this if you're the right person. You know who you are. You know if this is not right for you. I don't want price to be the objection, and I want you to be part of this mastermind. We already have close to 25 people in this, and we're going to build this. We want to build this to be one of the largest masterminds in the industry. We're going full steam ahead, full advertising. The world needs it. People are paying me an ungodly amount to do consulting, 25K days. And this is something that I want to give you a full year for 5K, where you get everybody on your team doing this. Now, having said that, going back to Rev here. Rev, I said, meet me for breakfast. We're going to be about 20 people meeting for breakfast. I'll just open this up here like this.
My name
and I'll
is
click
Revin
pause.
Beg. I'm the founder
And I'm eating my breakfast, and I'm right next to Matt. Matt's with his wife, and we're getting ready to get off the boat. And here comes Reb and his wife, and he sits down next to me, and he goes, "Hey, Mike, how you doing? Everything good with you?" I said, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "Well, last year on the cruise, man, you got fired from your company." I said, "Oh, that all worked out. That all worked out." He said, "Oh, okay. So what's going on? What's going on with Groove? You took it back?" And I said, dude, honestly, I don't even know where to begin. I don't want to talk about it. Like, if I go to talk about it, like, we'll be talking." He goes, "I got time." I said, "You're right. We're on the cruise. Let's talk about it." So I go on to tell him how I created software, um, like Click Campaigns and Chat Baser and Blog Baser and Page Builder. And he's like, and he is not like interested. He's just thinking like, whatever, you created software. And I said, let me get my phone here for a second. Let me show you this video over at Click Campaigns. And he goes, "Holy cow, you built that?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "How long?" I said, "It took me about 3 months." He goes, "Well, who helped you?" I said, "Nobody. I just built it." He goes, like, "How?" And I said, "Blah, blah." He goes, "Let me ask you a question. Um, I'm getting quoted $60,000 to do a software." I said, "Okay, can you tell me what it does?" And as he starts talking, he goes, "Why are you laughing?" I said, "I could build that software in 4 hours." He goes, "No, no, no. Let me tell you like everything it does." I said, "Dude, this is a calculator." Like, "Yeah, no, but it ties." I said, "No, I understand it's a database." And okay, I'd build this for you in two days, working 4 hours a day for 2 days. And he goes, "How?" And I said, "I would go to Lovable or Replit and I would say, make me this." And he goes, "Okay, can you like explain that to me?" So over breakfast, and then as we get on the island, I explained it to him. And then the very next day, he says, "Hey, I'm gonna go work on this thing. I'll see you tonight at the steakhouse dinner." I said, "Okay, Rev." He comes to the friggin' steakhouse dinner with his laptop and his headphones. And his wife goes, "You don't understand what you did. You've created a monster." And he's like, "Dude, I need to talk to you. You got to hear the story. Honey, tell him the story." And she goes, "Oh, okay, Mike, you're not going to believe this. We said, okay, let's go to bed. I need to get some rest." So I take a nap and I said, "Don't let me miss the steakhouse. Wake me up in about 4 hours." And he shakes my thigh. I wake up. I'm like, I had the most sound sleep from being rocked by the waves. And I said, "What's going on? Why are you waking me up?" And he goes, "Babe, you're not going to believe this. Look." And she goes, "What's that?" He goes, "It's my app." She goes, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "It's my app. I published it. It's on a website right now." And she goes, "What do you mean? It's a prototype?" He goes, "No, I built the app that they wanted to charge me $60,000 for." He was so excited. He came down to the steakhouse dinner with his laptop so he could keep coding, and completely changed his life. So if you are the type of person that always wanted to create a software, I can assure you that the trainings that we're going to be doing just on that, we're going to be teaching you on stuff, how you can set up operations, not a lot of stuff, but like how you can do some really cool stuff with your accounting, your legal department. We're using Claude Cowork's legal plugin and different things like that. But we're going to be focusing mainly on marketing. And as I said, you're going to have the ability to use your external chatbots like Telegram and WhatsApp and Discord and Slack and Microsoft Teams, etc., to invite your other team members to talk to these agents. And we're going to be teaching you more than anything, basically how to learn how to build skills. We're going to be sharing our skills with you. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building this. This is what I wanted to show you here. I don't know why I keep closing it, but it's the Excalibur page where we had this right here. We're going to be building teams with a CMO and a CRO that's going to be living on a dedicated laptop. And we're going to build all of these different agents. Some of these already exist in Click Campaigns, and we're going to build out all of these other agents that are going to have access to a computer. And we're going to train them on the latest out there that's on YouTube on how to create Facebook ads and pay-per-click ads. And we're going to set these things loose and have them build our funnels and literally publish our websites, because now this is really different, guys. Like this can have access. And by the way, there's just a lot for me to tell you that, like, how these agents work. Like, so when it's working and talking to my Notion, it uses something called a CLI, which is a command line interface, which means if it can, all of these plugins that you see here in Claude Code, and by the way, guys, there's hundreds of them. These connectors here, when you see what you have, these don't use the browser or the computer. All of these use the command line interface, meaning it's terminal to terminal talking. It's actually talking to Google's database like an API and just handling everything in the background. So you got ClickUp, N8N, Supabase, Gamma, Box.com, Dropbox, Atlassian, Trello, Figma, Slack, Notion. You start plugging in every single one of these tools. You start working with us. We're going to show you God mode. We're going to show you what we're doing in our company, how Lucius is going to come on. That's the other one I forgot that's going to be doing trainings, how we built a site like scale.gg just to get it up. We're going to be showing you our workflows, how we first create our brand-based documents and our style guides, and then how we then tell it to create a wireframe of the entire site first. Like, we want the wireframes first, and then go in and write the actual copy using the style guides. We're going to be teaching you these new workflows with Google Stitch. Let me actually show you that in YouTube. Then we're going to wrap up here in just a minute. We have Stitch, Stitch. Okay, let's see here. Would it be this one? Yeah, and you see what we want to do is we want to teach you Claude Code and Stitch, right? Stitch with Claude Code, like how you're actually going to plug into that application. And what's good about Stitch, if we go back to it here,
what that looks like. So it's a system here. This looks, it's impressive as it generates a mobile. It's responsive.
Bear with me.
On the same.
Okay, so you give it a URL or a website or an inspiration with a screenshot. It creates a style guide here for you, and then once it has that, for us to use Claude Code or Page Builder to build a page, it takes about 2 minutes to build a page for you. This can build 20 pages in about 30 seconds, and then you can export that right to Claude Code or Figma or Webflow, etc. But it's really hard to explain, but it's literally like creating like the mock-up of the page and all the stuff that you bring right to Claude Code. But it has really cool things where you could find something you like and click more like this, delete stuff off the canvas, say modify. So let's just play it from here so you can see.
And you can come in here and say like, well, let's first look at the variants and then we'll modify the design system. Whoa, okay. Crafting light and logic. I don't know what that means. The gallery of work. Reflections on the art of construction. Are these things I should be saying? These are cool things to say.
Maybe it was back here where he showed how you can click on and like create variants. So let's start it from the beginning.
It's generating 3 different screens. You can see it's cooking down here. Oh, that's nice. When you hover over it, it shows you which ones it's generating. It's generating 4 different screens. All right, let's see what we have. Mostly technical insights. Okay. This looks...
Let's go here. Here's another one.
Let's see.
Here's another one.
Really
now watch what happens when he right clicks.
Let's click on this one because I like it the most. And then we're going to go and do variations. And I want to reimagine 5 variations. Go wild with the variations. This looks a little too templated. I want something a little...
Okay, et cetera, et cetera. It gives it instructions.
First, boom, a bunch of variations.
You see what I mean? It creates iterations. So this is what you want to do. If you're doing this with Claude Code, or even Page Builder, you're going to be burning through tokens trying to figure out inspiration. What you can do with these types of things is you can build it out, and then you just click export to Claude Code, and then you go build your websites. So again, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but Claude Code is the future. We are creating click campaigns and Page Builder for the masses, but we have gotten to the point where we would be foolish not to be using Claude Code and the Claude Code CLI and these new workflows. The world is changing. The only things, guys, it is highly complex. Now, I like to say what Alan Greenspan used to say. It's extremely complex, but it's not complicated. Matt said it earlier to me today. It's like flying a plane. Flying a plane isn't chaos. Chaos is complicated. Flying a plane has standard operating procedures, meaning there's complexity. But once you know it, you're a pilot. You can do anything. You have God mode. So what we are doing is we have to create this educational mastermind, because we're going to be starting to teach you workflows that involve our tools and how they work with other tools like Claude Code. And we need to take the brains out of Click Campaigns and export it to Claude Code, to a place that's more powerful, where we bring it to the desktop. And fortunately, Claude is shipping like crazy, and it's changing the game. When I go to masterminds, and guys, I'm not asking you to do anything that I don't do. I am part of the Flight Club Mastermind. It costs $25,000 a year to be part of that. And I can bring a guest to every meeting. And I would bring Donna, and I would bring Matt, and I would bring Donna, I'd bring Matt. Now, Donna's part of that team, and she's there all the time. But I go to Flight Club Mastermind not to speak. I go there because it changes my business. I need to be around like-minded individuals. We are creating a courses.gg community, like a school community. You guys will be getting access to this community. All the information is going to be organized there. You'll be communicating. We're going to be meeting every Friday. We are going to be meeting in person 3 times a year. If you can't attend virtually, you will be able to attend. Not a problem. We're going to dial you in on Zoom. And it's going to be a 10K a year mastermind. You get locked in at 5K a year. And I'm telling you, this is different than anything else there's ever been. And I'm not trying to say this is different than anything else out there, because it's moving so fast that you either want to be the person that's locked in, working with a team of different people like I used to do in our company, and have all these, Groove and Go High Level and all these different things, or you want to just unlock God mode. That's it. I'm telling you, this is literally up to you. And there's a couple of things that will matter here. Number one, your ability to pay, and I respect that. That's why these guys are saying you should be making 20 grand a month. I don't necessarily think that's the case. You can get in, skip the line, get in today for $27.50, or 2 payments of 5K, or just click here, prefer to talk to us first. I'll try to make the calls, or Matt will. You'll be getting on with our team. You'll book your free discovery call. We'll talk to you about your business, what you'll be able to do with this. And I will tell you, my salespeople are watching these webinars. They're learning this type of stuff. We will help you onboard all of these different things. But if you want to get started, when we get this thing started after April 15th, whatever the first Friday is, after that, you will be given access to the community. Just book a call with us. If nothing to lose, there's no deposit that's needed to get on the call. If you want to talk to us about terms, you want to delay a payment, the first payment for a couple of weeks, whatever it is, if you want to get in this, we're making it, we're going beyond the checkout for you, because we understand that this is not, high ticket. But like I said, I'm part of the Speakeasy Mastermind. I'm going in April. I'm flying to San Diego to do the annual event that they have there. I host the one on the last Wednesday of every month. We just did one yesterday. I'm not a hypocrite, guys. I pay to be in masterminds, and masterminds are going to cost you in the neighborhood of around $25,000 to $40,000. And not to sound like Ron Popeil, they don't do half of what we're doing. Like, we're meeting with you every Friday. Nobody does that, because this stuff changes so fast. We can't let you come every 4 months and then miss one, and you only come twice a year. Do you know there's a lot of people in Flight Club that pay $25,000 to $30,000 to be in there, and they only make 2 and sometimes 1, right? And they get the rest of their information from the WhatsApp group, right? This is something, folks, I want you to be part of if you think you're the right person for it. Watch these testimonials. I'll play a couple here while I will put the checkout page up for us here. Oh, well, this is the checkout page, so I'll open another one right here. And we'll take this out, and we will pop it right here to the right, like this. How does that work? Come on, there we go. It's a new feature in Chrome. So this is your checkout, right? And you can check out at clickcampaigns.ai/God mode. Let's watch a couple of these testimonials. Each of them are about 60 seconds each, so we'll watch them all.
Hey everyone, it's Paul Hoffman from Sculpting Your Life, and I want to just tell you about the Agentic Marketing Mastermind by my friend Mike Filsaime.
By the way, these guys have been in it. I've been prototyping this mastermind since we left Flight Club. All of these people asked me to create this. They literally said, how can we get more of this? And I consulted for many of them. Many of them paid me, and we formed this Agentic Marketing Mastermind, and they're all my members.
Mike is one of the smartest people I know. He's created some of the most dynamic platforms in marketing, and he is now deep into the world of AI. But when I say that, he is
We're going to speed it
truly,
up.
truly one of the trendsetters and pioneers in the AI space. He has Scale GG, which is just another amazing platform that Mike has built. The apps that he has on that are using AI are just nothing short of phenomenal. So if you get a chance to be part of the Agentic Marketing Mastermind, I'm in it. I will tell you to jump at it. Mike is an amazing teacher. He is heart-centered. And here's the most important thing about Mike. He cares about your success. So if you can get in it, I jump at it. It's going to be nothing short of phenomenal. And by the way, thanks, Mike, for all that you do for me. Appreciate it. Much love, everybody. Agentic Marketing Mastermind, jump. Because if you miss out, that's on you. Boom, boom.
Thank you, Paul Hoffman, right there. This is Mike Hill. He was a speaker at Flight Club Mastermind. We are talking every single day. He can't get enough of me, and he's a super bright guy. Also, when it comes to AI, we are just sharing stuff left and right. Here's Mike Hill.
So I recently sat down with Mike Filsame and a handful of other businesses, and we're talking about Agentic Marketing Mastermind and what Mike calls.
We did our first presentation for the mastermind, and I invited the Flight Club people to be part of it.
All the businesses there. I mean, I think we might have been one of two that were already doing agentic programming. Everyone was blown away by Mike's share. I mean, how much he was willing to share, how much he knew, and then how they could apply it to their business. I'm a little bit of a tougher critic, but even I was blown away because Mike knows what he's talking about. He really, really, really knows what he's doing. And I mean, even 2 days after the meeting we had, he sent me something and he's like, hey, you should check this out. And I was like, oh, dude, thank you so much. He literally saved me thousands of dollars a month without even realizing it with just one little share that he did. And I was like, oh, dude, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I give my highest recommendation to Mike Filsame and his Agentic Marketing Mastermind, because when you unlock God mode, it's pretty awesome. All right, thanks, guys. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, buddy.
Play a couple more for you here. This is Mary Ellen Tribby. We did consulting. Their company paid for our consulting. Super, super high ticket. So obviously they got access to the mastermind.
Hi, Mary Ellen Tribby here, CEO of Centerpoint Research Institute. I'd like to talk to you about Mike Filsame. If you have a chance to be part of his...
And by the way, guys, all these people are running $3, $5, $8, $10 million companies that you're seeing here.
Agentic Marketing Mastermind, grab it. You see, Mike came into my company and taught me and my team things I didn't even know we needed. Things were God mode. Mike has always been my go-to secret weapon. I almost didn't want to do this video because I want to keep Mike all to myself. If you get the chance to work with Mike on any project, especially being part of his new Agentic Marketing Mastermind, grab it. You'll be sorry if you don't.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. And a couple more here. This is Marnie. If you look her up on YouTube, she's this lady right here called, let me see, Marnie Wing Woman. That's this right here. She has 1.44 million subscribers. She's an absolute legend. She had her team on one of the calls, and then we did a separate call for her. And let me find that. I forget which one we were on here. One of these. Did I close that? I don't remember closing that. Guess we did, so we're going to have to reopen it. Click campaigns.ai/God mode. So this is Marnie. Oh, I think I know what the problem is.
Hi, this is Marnie from the Wing Girl Method. You are getting me fresh from the gym. But I just want to say that I had a call with Mike 2 weeks ago. It was with him and my COO, CMO, CEO. As you can see, I'm going in a certain direction. He was wearing too many hats, and we came to Mike to talk about how to take some of these hats off. And Mike really walked us through how he sets up his organization so that everybody stays in their own lane, and that the person at the top, which is Jesse, my CO everything, gets to be in a position where he can be doing the things that he absolutely loves. And Mike really just like pinpointed all the spaces and places that Jesse was overworking himself and putting him into work that he didn't love. And I will say that since we've had that call with Mike, which was an hour long, he just like wanted to get on the phone with us it was amazing. Just like to give his time and just offer up assistance. It's transformed the way that we think about our organization. We've hired a couple of people, we've promoted a couple of people so that Jesse can have the freedom to live in the space where he thrives and makes money. Because that's what he wasn't doing. He wasn't making money every single day. He was making money on Thursdays and Fridays, and that was driving him crazy. Because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, he was having meetings, he was managing people. It was horrific. So I will tell you that the mindset shift that we've had around how to run our business, but more importantly, how to organize ourselves, has had a massive impact just on our sanity. And I know it's going to have an impact on the bottom line, because 1 week after Jesse and I had this call with Mike, he had 4 days for himself where he could think through things and finally got to dive into our email system, which is archaic right now, and has found new ways for us to increase our deliverability, increase engagement, and increase our guys purchasing things. So it's had an impact on our mindset and on our bottom line. So anyway, thank you, Mike, for that. You're amazing. You're awesome. And yeah, I would definitely work with Mike.
And I think there's one more. Yeah, I think we went through most of them. Here's Whitney, and we'll just do a TBA and we'll just wrap it up right here.
I'm sitting here today in a place where I've got a company with 17 people, and they're all creatives. Well, we got a couple who are not creative, but for the most part, they're all creative types. But get this, every last one of those creative type people now are creating agentic apps that are helping them be more efficient and more productive in their daily work. And the best part is they're doing it and they're leading themselves through it. And I couldn't have gotten there without you, Mike Filsaime. The time that you have so generously spent with me, teaching, sharing so many of your agentic frameworks, the God mode things that you do. Dude, you changed everything for us. And in this upcoming agentic mastermind that you're going to be doing, the agentic marketing mastermind, I can only imagine how many lives you're going to change right now because of how you changed mine. Atiba D'Souza and the medical marketing roadmap and what we've been able to bring to the marketplace because of stuff that we've learned from you over the last couple of years. So Mike, thank you. Dude, you are the absolute best. You gave me a compliment many, many years ago, and I want to repay it to you. You said you thought I was like the salt of the earth. Dude, you truly are. You truly are salt of the earth, and I can't wait to see how many people's lives and how many businesses change because of this agentic marketing mastermind that you've created.
All right, and yeah, so that's it. We're going to wrap it up right there. So you'll go to clickcampaigns.ai/God mode, and I'm doing this because I want you guys to be part of this mastermind. Now, I want to let you know the way we're going to be doing these sessions is going to be on Zoom. We're not going to be doing it on StreamYard. On Zoom, the way this is going to work, unlike we're doing right now on GoToWebinar, because this is what is known as a one-to-many presentation, and StreamYard is like even worse than that because you don't get real-time communication. What we're going to be doing is on Zoom. Your entire team and your spouse and your kids are going to be able to join on these calls. And you can have your face on there if you want, and you could click the raise your hand button, and I'll say, hey, Paul, I see you there. You had a question. What did you want? Mike, can you go over and show that? Yeah, great. I'll show that. So we're going to be extremely interactive. It's not going to be where I'm looking at the screen and there's a chat going that I'm not reading. You're going to be able to raise your hand, and I'm going to highlight you, and you're going to be able to talk and show your website or show the problem that you're having. This is like a coaching program inside of a mastermind. You're going to be getting me and other people on my team working on your business with you. What we want to do is we want to streamline the processes in AI. Guys, the game is changing so fast. It is converging onto Claude Code. I'm telling you, OpenAI by April, they hired the guy from Peter Steinberg that created OpenClaw, and they just announced they're getting rid of the Atlas browser and the ChatGPT app and the Codex app, and they're going to combine it into one app that does chat, Codex, browsing, and automation. And so where the workflows go, we will win. Google isn't going to stand idle. Literally after OpenClaw came out, they came out with Perplexity Computer. They came out with My Computer. They came out with GenSpark Claw. Like everything is moving to this, and it is moving so fast that the most technical people are saying it's hard for me to keep up. I have to create this mastermind so that we can keep everybody up to speed. And I tell you, when I sit down with my wife, she says, are we going to be able to watch Landman tonight? And I said, babe, you can put it on. She said, are you going to be watching your YouTube videos? And I said, they're not my YouTube videos. I need to keep up to speed I want to. I love to keep up to speed on everything that's happening because it's happening so quickly. And I immediately make the pivots into my business. Just literally last week, Vercel came out with Vercel Chat SDK 8 days ago, and that day I added it into God Mode in Click Campaigns so that we can now talk with it on Slack. So I want to take you guys to the next level. I would love for you to be part of it. You simply just go to clickcampaigns.ai/God mode. We're still going to be there, of course, with scale.gg. That's our main focus in the company. This is our back end, and it's going to be 10K. You guys can get it for 5K. My sales team will be doing all of the presentations. I'm not going to be doing it. People are going to book with my sales team, not you. You'll be able to check out here for $27.50 today, or one payment of 5K. It's up to you. And if you prefer to talk to us because you got more questions, want to see if it's right for you, and you want to help us arrange terms or financing or whatever it takes, you just let us know. Just click this call right here. You go to clickcampaigns.ai/God mode. I'm assuming Matt answered all of your questions. We've kept you here for 2 hours and 37 minutes. So we're going to wrap it up right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody enjoyed this. We probably will get a replay out for you. May do another webinar for this next week. I'll come prepared with maybe some more workflows. But yeah, get in, skip the line. We're going to be starting in just about 3 weeks. If we look at the calendar, April 15th. So it looks like our first training is going to be on April 17th. So best thing you can do is just click this right here, book your free discovery call with us, find out if it's right for you, bring your team. You can have multiple people on that call, and let's be part of this. Very happy to have you on board. If you're going to be joining us, I know, again, this is not for all of you, and we will continue to be focusing on scale.gg, our affiliate marketplace that's launching next month, and trainings. I told Matt in April I want to do a scale-a-thon, 3 days over Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2 weeks in a row. We're going to do a training on every single application. But this is the back end, one of the most important parts of our business. And rather than doing a 25K or 30K masterminds, you know them, they're out there. Every one of the companies has them. Ours is going to be 10K. And I think it's going to be the best one, because if you're not talking about agentic marketing, what are you talking about these days? And you guys get to be part of it for 5K, and we'll even work with you with the terms to get in. Just go to clickcampaigns.ai/God mode. Thank you very much, everybody, for making the time to make it here. We're going to send you the XOXO big heart emoji. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.